for that what you got. People. nation. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Rastafari, sit upon his throne, yeah. Rastafari, sit upon his throne now. Rastafari, sit upon his throne, yeah. Telling us to come home, yeah. Telling us to come home. Fire operates, burn down Babylon and all them crooked ways and racial discrimination, discommunication, brutalization. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Rastafari, sit upon his throne now. Rastafari, sit upon his throne, yeah. Rastafari, sit upon his throne now, telling us to come home.
Babylon, Metamorphosis. You're not still in. Greetings, greetings, Eli, Eli. Giving thanks and praises for the forces that allow us to be here. Speaking to the force, ancestral forces. These forces, of course, we know are racial. Your ancestors must fall within your race. So we're healing up all the persons who are conscious of their race and who are proud to the race that they belong. This is October, and we continue to focus on heritage and culture, the time when we recall heroes and heroines, and time for reflection, not on the aspect of celebration, but upon the implications of the activities of those heroes, why some have been put into stone, and why the philosophy has not been continued. Why do we rest our heroes, put our heroes to rest in peace when we continuously experience war? So this is a Metamorphosis. Dr. Iman Blak, your host, here to take you through the paces, to bring you closer to your greatest fears. And the greatest fear, it would appear, is the fear of the power of the I. There's also a greater fear that has been socialized, which is a fear of some abstract force that is in control of the destiny, not just of the individuals, but of the entire race? Are you a member of that club? Do you ascribe to the idea of something controlling the destiny of the entire race? And is that control outside the realm of the race? So we're here to continue to examine, interrogate, extrapolate all the various intellectual activities that will bring forth knowledge and remove the mists of belief and to overcome fear. So draw yourself closer to your instrument of listening. If you're online, we are streaming. And if you have a radio, we are on the 96 band. And if you are in the world beyond the shores, there is the internet. And so gather and heal up all ones and ones. The journey in this metamorphosis is about to begin. Tell a friend to quickly tune in. There is a feminine principle present in this metamorphosis. So you know, so you have to stay even closer to the rhythm and listen to this here metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. Getting into the action early. Make sure you have your pen and your paper, and your Bible and your dictionary, and your fire to light the incense, to permeate the atmosphere, and to highlight and upgrade the standard of reasoning and listening power. We're here on the plantation. And in the previous program, I started to speak about the national heroes, the ones that were created along the line of the racial efforts. And we started with the first national hero, Marcus Messiah Garvey, and pointed out the importance of that Messiah and his messages, and questioned this concept of one destiny and one aim, all under one God. And is it the one God that we need to stay under, or should we extricate ourselves from being under that one God and unite under one Africa? So we're looking at another hero, and this time we're looking at the heroine within the dimension of the national heroes, and that heroine now is Nanny. So it would not be right for me to look into Nanny strictly from the perspective of a male. So I am very pleased to have in the studio within this metamorphosis an empress who can speak for her own self, and maybe she can speak on behalf of other women who are within certain cultural perspectives. But I can't say what she will say. Neither can I think how she will think about it. So it's very important that we make space for that complementary form of processing. So, in the studio, Empress Irisha, welcome to the Metamorphosis.
Yeah, give thanks and praise for your next time and the Metamorphosis with Iman Blak.
So, how have the eye been?
Well, good so far. Just, move through times and space and narration in the universe.
So, we're here on the island now, we're seeing that we're having all sort of issues happening. There's political activity. The plantation is excited again because the red and orange and the green is out there struggling for the people's vote. And then we have in the media we're seeing where certain type of punishments are being, meted out. That is requiring great amount of observation and reflection. So as a female, woman, mother, you have any view on that early drama that we're seeing in the newspaper about this woman and her child? We've been hearing a lot of perspectives. You have a view?
Well, I don't have no personal view, because everyone deal with them situation as them arrived differently. So maybe it's just her way of dealing with her anger, So you never know. A woman go through so much daily. It's amazing.
Amazing. What women go through daily.
Yes, it's amazing.
So maybe before we finish, you can help to explain and expound about some of these difficulties that women go through, because enough man maybe don't know. And maybe other women go through these experiences but don't have they may think it's them alone. And maybe happening on a broader level, So we touch onto that, and as a professional, what is your line of study?
Well, my line of study is really early childhood development and education.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is where I specialize.
And you see, within this metamorphosis now, we really want to explore that avenue to see how is it that the behavior that we're demonstrating on the plantation now, is it something that starts in our teenage life or something we develop when we're big, or is it something that really happens from our experiences in childhood? What do you think? Because you're in the childhood.
It's also from the home experience, because sometimes a lot of things meted out to women when they are pregnant, and it translates to the child as well, And out of the woman fear, groom that mentality of that child, or the comfort of that woman how she be through pregnancy.
So perhaps we have started our investigation now in this pregnancy stage.
Sure. We may think, say, the youth, them not communicate during pregnancy, or them not feel, or them no, them not really, say, intellectual, certain way if understand what is happening outside of the womb. Because pregnancy, most women should know that when you are pregnant as a woman, you are possessed by a alien being. You're never yourself anymore.
Okay. Possessed by an alien being.
Yeah.
That's a serious conversation.
Yeah, because guess what? Maybe I never used to have anything sweet, and all of a sudden I'm pregnant. Now I just want sweet.
Okay.
When I eat much, me start,
Some
eat
different
like
demands
crazy,
now
different things,
start
different
coming to you.
crave.
Okay. So we're going to look at that process, but what do you think about before pregnancy? You think that might have any impact now on the child before the pregnancy?
Well, you have to be ready.
You have to be ready.
You have to be ready. If you're not ready...
What does ready mean now?
Ready mean like yourself, say yes, you can take on having a child, raising a child,
So you say that's not like money. Is that a money issue?
It's not a money issue, It's
okay.
It's a emotional readiness.
Okay, I hear you.
Emotional readiness and a physical fitness. Mental readiness, mental fitness to deal with all of this.
So we'll make note of these as elements though, right? The emotional readiness.
The mental readiness.
And the physical fitness. So what we're really saying right just now is that even before the child is conceived, we have to look at the condition of those who went to go through the activity, which is the female and the male.
Yes.
And
but most of the female, they change her life.
Yeah.
Because if you're a female, we're used to just always up and about and flipping around and you know, getting on with life as a single being. Now you become a mother. All of that changes come, you know, you can't afford certain things for yourself anymore. You can't afford to go certain places anymore because you need to be there for the child. You know, so you have to be ready. If you're not ready for this, then your children or your child going to meet some kind of a abuse, some kind of a neglect, some kind of a unwantedness.
All right. So when we talk about being ready now, you know, that's a very serious point of discussion, you know, being ready, because when is a woman ready? I mean, you know, we're not really going to have to answer that necessarily right now, but, you know, like when does a female, when is she ready for a child, you know? Because we're having problems now with young girls who thinking that having a child is what is going to make them into a woman.
I have to do it out for them parents groom them.
So back again to the parents.
Yeah, the home.
The home structure.
Yeah.
So it's coming like we have to ultimately examine at the foundation what we call now the family.
Most naturally, because we have a tendency to groom our girls to become housewives and mothers from early, while our sons become kings and boss and gods over them sisters, so them bring that to them women. Mm-hmm. So, you know, mothers growing them son and them daughters, well, go pick up your brother's socks, go do that, and your brother just cycle. So, you know, go play cricket or something, because that's what boys do. While girls are grow, I would have said to be more stronger than male because of the responsibility that she has, you know. So
it's a very critical distinction now we're trying to make between the males and the females. Because you're suggesting that the females are, by socialization, more responsible?
Sure, because because even with the chores in the house, because this is where you develop responsibilities, you know, and develop through chores.
Yeah.
And if the female is given more chores than the male,
yeah,
automatically while growing, you're going to find, even today, look into today's society, the female is the one who is pushing out more. You look into the class, the ratio, you look into the graduates, the ratio of male to female. The male become laid back, the female become a pusher.
All right. But we know that that doesn't really begin when them reach teenage life.
No, as I say, it's how the parenting begins.
So what we want to do now is maybe look a little closer at what happened in the earliest years of a child's life. And what we mean early now, we mean the first 36 months.
No, you have to talk about zero.
Yeah, the
zero,
first,
which is the womb.
The womb itself.
Yes, within the womb, that zero, that meditation that parent have, that mother, that ambience around that child, between mother and father, communication and brain. Because I can tell you, for me, really, I can talk for myself, a woman who have her man next to her during pregnancy, you find it to be a healthier pregnancy.
All right, pause here, because we're going to return to this point. We're going to organize our reasoning around a timeline, because even within African reasoning in the Western world, there's a controversy as to when is it that the child really born. When, at what moment do we say the picnic born? Is it when the picnic come out of the vagina or step out of the belly through cesarean? Or is it the moment when the egg and the sperm?
For me, the moment when the egg and the sperm meet.
All right, we'll come in. Think about it, people.
Planning a party, club night out, stage show, a gospel concert, or even a business sales event? Let Styles FM be a part of your promoting tool. Take advantage of our low-priced promotion packages with commercials, interviews, giveaways, reviews, and much more. We have special offers when you mix and match and bundle your options. Contact us at 876-286-9216 or 439-5160. Styles FM for the most effective way to exploit your marketing dollar.
Remember Styles FM on social media. View us on YouTube, Styles FM Radio. Follow us on Instagram at Styles FM. Like us on Twitter at Styles FM 961. Become a fan on Facebook, Styles FM 96.1.
The Port
Portland Credit Union is appealing to its members and friends to give their support in times of crisis. Let us remain caring towards one another. So please, give cash donations of $100 or more to the Caribbean Disaster Relief Fund at the Portland Credit Union Limited. This can be done by putting your contribution in an envelope, seal it, write Disaster Relief Fund on it, and drop in the 24-hour deposit box at the credit union between September 29 to October 31. Thanks for caring for our Caribbean neighbors.
There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me.
For the best quality in sound reinforcement and backlining, native audio, we have professional engineers with over 20 years of experience. So call us and we'll take care of your parties, wedding receptions, barbecues, conferences, and small stage shows. Crystal clear sound, native audio. Our prices are the best. Call us at 871-5212. That's 871-5212. Native audio. We make your events audible.
Boundbrook Hilltop Guest House, conveniently located at 15 Boundbrook Crescent, Port Antonio. For a large space of single and double rooms at reasonable rate, Wi-Fi, cable TV, breakfast to order, 24-hour security, CC cameras, parking, snack bar and lounge. Beautiful scenery of the Caribbean Sea. We're willing to assist with additional accommodation, such as fridge in your room, coffee machine, and so much more. Boundbrook Hilltop Guest House, proud sponsor of the METAMORPHOSIS with Dr. Iman Blak, live on Styles FM, Mondays, 9 p.m. to midnight. Call Boundbrook Hilltop Guest House at 715-1644.
Rising high and slowly fade away. No more will I cry, now that my eyes are dry. I've been beaten and robbed of my rights and my loved ones. My bones have grown so tough, no guns or bombs can tear I apart. My eyes get so red from anger and wrath. They lock I away, oh they'll throw I in jail. Sata high, sata high, sata high, sata high, sata high, sata high. Smoke get in their eyes. Sata high, sata high.
Sata Eye, Metamorphosis. Iman Blak in studio with Queen Empress Irisha. We're coming from the foundation to find out how do we help ourselves as African people, as a community, as a family, as a race. And some of the issues that we face are fundamental. And rather than deal with these issues that are on the periphery and the ones that create a lot of sensation, it's more important to focus in on the foundation. So we are at a little part of the reason where we're trying to work out what are some of the preconditions to a child being coming into the earth under a certain level of conscious, cultural, historical guidance. So within our plantation here now, on the plantation Jamaica, and in the Western world generally where the Africans were brought as chattel, it's hard to overlook the reality that as much as our experiences on the continent are that of a liberated people, the last 500 years have been life as chattel slave and later on as emancipated slaves. And within the chattel slave system, there is no concept of family for African people. That was totally obliterated. totally destroyed. All the elements that pull a family together were wiped away. All the elements that kept our culture together were basically diminished. And so we're coming out of a plantation society now, wherein we hear say, man and woman must come together and picnic must born. Because on the plantation, the black man was operating as a stud farm animal. He was a breeder. Now, Irish just mentioned to me half here now, say, black man is breeder. So, me have an issue now with the whole concept of breeding. Because I know so we only breed up fish and goat and animal and pig and them things. We breed up animal. So how do we address ourselves now when you talk about we're breed up one another? You know, things that we have to make a little correction and adjustment and so. All right, if you just say, yeah, man, woman a breed.
No, man, the correction and the adjustment is just that both male and female of African descent have to understand the concept of life for them living today and what them went through on the plantation. Even though most of us say, boy, I never had a slave, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I never did this, I'm not African, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we record things in our memory, in
Yes,
our
sir.
DNA, our skin. Just like the cellular phone, the computer, your
Everything-
memory
everything
chip, we
recorded.
built in memory chip.
Yeah.
So over time, it become a norm, you know. So as Iman Blak mentioned, say, male used to move from farm to farm to breed women. You
Not
know,
creating
and
family.
just move on, not
Yeah,
creating family,
no
just
concept of
stocks,
family.
created
Yeah,
stocks.
Yeah, man, stock.
I have a prize bull up on my yard and I want a good heifer to keep the breed. So, you know, it's the same thing. One down at Trelawney, you just bring the bull down there, send for the heifer up there and you get the breed. It's just the same thing we're faced today as a race. And that is why we can't really have a family that is really successful, you know, because after the woman become pregnant, the male feel like is, you know, time to move on to another level.
True, based upon the plantation vibes.
Yeah,
You
based on
just
the
plant the seed and go
plantation,
on.
just plant the seed and move.
And as I said, today, you know, you have enough man to brag about doing that.
Yes, and how much youth
How
them
much
have
him
here
about
and
the
how much
place.
there and how
But-
much of them really care for.
Yeah, the responsibility part now.
Yeah,
lacking.
the responsibility.
So the society now, we feel the wrath of these fatherless youths and them wayward behavior.
Well-
Oftentimes the mother try to,
You have to be a strong woman to
Boy, but you
really
can't
and
be
truly
unstraight now.
bring forth a
Alright.
youth on your own where you have substance.
yeah.
Because all of the negative elements them out there, forget them.
Alright.
Especially from the negative males.
You see, before them reach even youth now, we're returning to the point of conception. So the general idea now how Romans treat us, when we teach us biology, and we go to them schools and into them institutions, them tell us say it take 9 months for a child to born.
No man, nothing no go so man.
So you can set it right.
All right, for me, when me look into biology myself,
Yeah.
right? Not into chemistry or chemistry or whatever, but biology, the human autonomy. As a female, you have the egg within you, what you're born with, walking up and down, right? As a male, you have all of these, what you call them? Sperms.
Spermatozoa, yeah.
Or seeds, or you want to call
seed
them.
to plants.
Which the male is responsible for whether it be a female seed or a male seed. So whenever that seed reach that land, that fertile, that egg to be fertilized, it's like planting a seed in the earth.
Fertile soil.
That fertile side, when it's meet there, that's where life begin.
So
So that is birth. Birth
I
number
am
one.
agreeing with you 110% that birth is when the egg and the sperm
Exactly,
connect.
that's when it can, because life begins. So
The
which other time
individual.
birth could have been.
Okay. But them have us backpedaling now by putting on a 9 months and telling you that the child really born when him come out.
No, the
So-
child just step out into this outer
Into
world.
this outer world. So-
into the outer world after 9 months of listening
All right.
into
So-
the environment around him
Make we
or
look,
her.
make we provide some evidence that that child have consciousness. Because consciousness now is a force that is going to bring forth knowledge and give you a chance to cooperate and organize consciousness. Now, the child begin to develop organs. And I said here several times that if you If black people want a good insight into themselves, they should begin to study embryology. The science of the development of the being from inception to out of the body
From
into the world.
conception to out in the world.
Out into the world. And what we need to know is that oftentimes our knowledge about this time of life is very limited to us. We don't have much sources, but the sources are there. But because we're kind of focusing on when the child come out, we ignore, to the detriment of the child, the 9 months inside the womb.
No, because guess what now? You see that 0 to that 9 months is
Yeah.
critical time.
Very,
that
very
development
yeah.
is very, very
Yeah.
critical.
So tell us why you think, how does a mother, what is the relationship between that period now and the development of a child?
Well, being a mother and having this being within you, you're not only thinking for yourself anymore. Sometimes you don't even really think for yourself. You just move out of how the feelings you have.
Okay.
The feelings you have at the time. Maybe you want to have some juice. 2 minutes ago, the next minute ago, that juice just upset you. You don't even want to see that anymore. You know, so being a mother, when you conceive, you never be yourself anymore. It's that being now who is roaming the environment around internally, listening to every conversation.
So, well, I know, before that being can listen, some other organs have to come before the ears even develop, you know.
Yes. But there is this sense from that heartbeat. There is this sense.
So it's that sense now, we want to zero in for that sense, you know. I mean, I said to you, know, that sense that even before the heart form.
Yeah, that consciousness.
Which way you think it rests?
I would have said that consciousness, you could look at it as being spiritual and emotional.
Which part it rests in the newborn? It rests in the skin.
Of course. It have to be, because all of the other organs have not built yet, you know.
All right.
So that memory chip or memory card,
That's the point.
it has to be the skin.
So when you see you as a mother, you feel, and the child feel. A skin is skin relations, you know. The child will feel through the skin, you know, and you feel the child through the child's skin, you know.
Yes.
But guess what happened now, Irisha? Because the Europeans don't teach us about these sides and aspects of our development. We kind of lack the knowledge of the power of our own skin. In other words, now, at the first organ we form, you know, in the newborn. At the first sense organ. And everything else come after that.
But you know that skin attached to the father, even though that child not inside of that man.
Tell us that again. The skin is attached.
The skin, that same skin that child have, that child using within the female is also extending outside, you know, to that male, you know, to that father, you know.
Yeah, tell me all that.
Because on my behalf, them tell you that it's a certain time before a child begin to move or a certain action. But during my pregnancy, from 1 month, when my son's father is nearby, I know because the fetus begin to kick up and behave in a certain different kind of a way.
Serious thing.
You know, and
communication.
And it's serious because my fetus, when my mother is near, my fetus withdraw, hide himself, don't move, just stay still. And as soon as daddy is near him, just start move out. So I could have known, say, yes, your father is about to come or something. So there's that connection.
Yes. And I think because we're ignorant, meaning lack the knowledge of these things, we don't give the power that the child must have to the child. In other words, we don't rate we don't rate the powers of the child because number one, the child not speaking. So from the child can't speak, we feel like the child, quote unquote, dumb.
Yeah, the child speak through the mother because sometimes you see some people you don't like. You understand? And you withdraw. You know, as I say, with my child and my mother, for some unknown reason, when she come out, him just stiff. And even when him come out of the home, it's the same stiffness. Until this day, the same behavior when she come out.
Interesting.
The father come him happy, him mad about over the place.
This is a metamorphosis in studio with Irisha. We're just going through some experiences that nearly all women face. But we want to look at the experience of the black woman now in particular. Because we are having trouble with our people and our own children. And perhaps if we have a different perspective of how we bring these beings into consciousness, then perhaps we can address them and ourselves in a better way. Because at a personal level, when the mother of my children were pregnant, I used to go ramp with them early too. Until the youth will push up a little bone, and you rub a little bone, you saw the youth dry to it, and push it up again. So me knows that somebody in their life.
Yes, and listening to the
And
conversation.
listening. So now, even before we advance that now, let me just retrack a little bit and talk about this readiness now. How do we become ready to accept this, what you call alien force, right? Right? We say the mother have to be emotionally matured, physically fit, basic. What about the man? What do you think? How does a man know, say him ready to have a youth?
As I said before, the black man, because of the plantation experience, always ready. Always ready, because him don't know the responsibility
Well, that one rough.
of growing a child or even rearing a child to certain levels.
Look here, a tree in there, you know. So it's the perfect balance, you know. You know, so me knows that tree is the balance, right? So, Cass, I think that's what black man say. We just ready for just have sex and have a picnic. Him don't answer, so true. Run the music. Yeah, we want to rise out of the suffering. And the suffering, much of it is self-imposed, self-induced. Not totally, you know, because there has been a program established long before we come here. And running upon semi-automatic. And just like how the computer can run, and when you shut it down, you think it's shut down. It's snooze. But it's still turning on, you know. Still turning on and still running. So we work out the intricacies of putting family together and realizing the importance of the individuals, the male and the female. It's not a joke thing. It can't be a joke thing, because if it's a joke thing, then we're not really projecting ourselves into any kind of positive, what they call, future. If it's something serious, we have to consider now what the term is when we say posterity. How do we do things that it carries on for the next generation? So once we're off here, Cassidy say, man, make to procreate. No, I'm not going to disagree with that, you know, because it's a reproduction now. reproduction is essential now to a race maintaining its existence. Any species, you know. Any species to survive, it have to reproduce. So procreation now is another term for reproduction, propagation, carrying on the line into the next generation and next generation. But you guess what happened now? It can't happen in a very ad hoc way because there must be preparation. So how much people you think really prepare to have a child, Irish? Or they just born through some hard sex?
Some people really prepare and make preparation, but would I say 90% just have sex.
Had sex too, you know?
Yeah, just had sex.
So no.
90%.
So you say no, probably the child is not the problem, you know. It's the people them know who will come together to bring this child that maybe them never ready for or unwilling to organize themselves to accept. Because you can't do ready for the child, you know. But when you realize the child is coming, you can begin to organize yourself to accept the responsibilities.
To deal with it, but
you know,
as a woman, you don't really organize nothing. You have to just accept. A male alone can think about that organization and ready to accept.
Okay, important.
But a female friend, a sperm meet that heck there.
She depend on
you responsible. You depend at the job.
So at that level now, who you think should have really hold the key to childbirth, the man or the woman?
I don't understand that question. Then.
Meaning, is it the woman who must say that she is ready for her child because she is willing to be responsible for it, or the man, when he become responsible, must say, well, I'm ready for a youth now?
No, a two-way street.
We
all must be ready.
Both of them have to be
One can be ready and the other one not ready. We're going to have conflict.
So if you're going to try to resolve that now, if we go even further forward or in a deeper...
Have you ever seen some woman pregnant and they're not happy, but they will say, boy, my husband want one next one, so I just have it. You know?
Yeah.
We get married now, so the man want one picnic. It's not about her. It's about the man, which means she want to fulfill the needs of that man to say, well, we're married, no, we're living together. This is our evidence of union. But at the same time, that man can still live that free life he always live. Because when want to go do, when want to do the same way, which things change for the female.
So how should a man know then when I'm ready for have a youth? What should be some of the criteria for a youth out there? No, say, I'm ready for a youth.
When him know say I'm really ready for Lego and brethren them on the corner and the rum bar or wherever I'm going for the sport life and so on, I know say yes, I'm going to stick beside this woman now.
So you think someone can have a youth and still do them thing then?
It not to the degree where them want to maintain the same lifestyle, because guess what now? Sugar have to think about, you know. And you see, we modern days mother, when I wash nappy, you know.
Right, so just buy new pampers.
So the beer there we go buy for yourself now and for your brethren, we need 3 pampers.
So
or a pack of pampers.
So I wish I said to the man then, if you don't have no resources, that you said?
Yeah.
So you say a man shouldn't have no youth unless he have resources?
Have resources, because a woman alone can't do it. And most of the time when women have children, when I say your body become weakened, it take a while before you can build to move on certain way. Even when they say women say them get to leave from work and them have baby 2-3 months and come back to work, they're not ready. Them not ready. Them put themselves under some different kind of stress, you know, which in while sometimes it affect her mentally. And it affect how she deal with the youth. And sometimes now, maybe when she not live with the man. Or sometimes you live with the man and you see wherein you need some extra things and some extra help, and then that man knows how make you know say, well, me can't deal with that, you know. This is how me I deal with, and it's most of the time it's for him pleasure. It's not about the child or the mother anymore. But the woman now, she can't even think about herself anymore, you know. Because being a mother and a real mother, I'm not about some woman who just have picnic and them life continue the same. A real mother, she knows that she wants some personal stuff for herself. And she walk into that store. And lucky if she come out with one item for herself.
So what
because
about,
all she program is that youth needs.
Okay, but the needs still have been met by economics, right? So what about the mothers them who are not in a position of any economic strength and them still having children?
That is what lead them now to the having the amount of children because they are not empowered. And based on how that woman is socialized and is groomed towards the male counterpart, that the man is the head of the household, the man supposed to do this, the man supposed to do that. So she becomes susceptible to whatever the man says, whatever the man do, she has no voice. And by having these children is her security, which is the wrong thing.
You know, say, the man and the woman issue and the children issue is a difficult thing, you know, because there are often times when when a woman will tell a man that she is pregnant, and the man will say, boy, enough for me. And sometimes when the man says it's not just because him don't want to be responsible, because he knows that John and Joe was going there too.
But sometimes John and Joe not go there neither. So when they don't know him, they enjoy that woman there so much, so no.
So what about the protection?
Different.
So what about the woman now? Since she know that she really can't move around the place if she get herself into that condition, so isn't the onus then on the woman to protect herself?
Yes, it go both ways, male and female responsibility. Protection is male and female responsibility.
If the man is irresponsible in protection, should the woman also be irresponsible?
You know, enough time woman get fight for take family planning from the male counterpart, or even for use a condom if you not take family planning. Most women, you know, have to hide and take family planning, you know. So, especially when them live underneath the man roof, you know, and the man feel like the underwear him in power and in charges have that woman every so often pregnant.
All right. Okay. So because we have to stop now a little bit because we have to assess now the psychology now, you know, of the male who would move in that direction, and the psychology of the female who would get caught in that dimension. But those things don't develop when those persons become adults and have children. Some things start from earlier.
Yeah.
So all right. So when we return now to the 0 to 3 years old now. So when a child comes out of the womb and appears now as a individual baby now, the society now begins to interact with that child.
I don't think it begin, you know.
Wait, what
the physical contact, it begin long time from conception and the womb.
The society.
The child know the father, him know the auntie, him know the mother, him know the grandmother, him know every voice, everybody within the home.
Okay.
But now it's a meeting and greeting process when the child is out.
And the child going to buck up into institutional forces now, the society.
Yeah, the society.
All right.
And how it is structured.
The society now, which is a plantation that we're on. I remember when I was having my first youth, because me have the youth, you know, the mother just carry it. Yeah, me have the youth. They try to block me from coming into the delivery room. This is the society now at work, you know. And the nurse said, I can't come in here and look at that. And no man allowed in here. And I tell her, I said, that is impossible. Me have to see this. And truthfully, she tried to block me, but she was alone. She had to run to block me and then run back to leave the mother and then run back to block me, and she couldn't do both. So I just step in and I say, the cave open, and I see the alien come out.
And so you call it the cave, brother? Yeah, it wasn't the cave before.
No. I am saying to you now, not anything disrespectful, no, you know.
Yeah, you see the entrance.
No, man.
The entrance to this world open. This door is open to the world.
It's an exit too.
You see it?
No, I saw the exit. Because I saw the alien coming out.
But right into the world. So it's the entrance to the world, the exit of the inner world.
And the exit from the inner world.
Yes.
All right, well, it's an exit. It's an exit. I think more males
need that experience.
Need to see that exit. Serious thing now, you know. And I want a man out there who never see the exit and realize that half of your life gone. Because it's a sobering moment. It's a moment where emotionality sort of just take a back seat, and the whole mystery of sex and the mystique of the punani and all these things just...
So you become stunned.
No, awakened. No, not stunned. Awakened. You see? and suddenly became conscious now that there is a struggle in the society between males and males and females around the object of sex, which is necessary. Wars have been fought, around this whole concept of sex. And it's through the process of sex now why this alien is able to come into this world. So we want to examine sexuality as a concept within this individual. We want to examine emotions within that individual. We want to examine does that individual have a spirituality? And what about the intellect now of that individual? So African children, looking at the psychology of the African child. And much of my references will be to Dr. Amos Wilson. And I'm making reference to Amos Wilson because he is the greatest African black psychologist that ever tried this earth. And you can hear and read, listen to his lectures on YouTube. So I'm recommending that Amos Wilson is the man who can help black people develop a psychology. And fundamentally, the psychology of the black child is what we need to be expanding on. Because our children now turning out into these people that we're calling vile and irresponsible. But who make them? What is the foundation of their creation? And can we, as the makers or the motivators of children, help to change the whole matrix? So the change will have to come in the individual male and the individual female who are either parents already or who are planning to become parents. The first 3 years, 0 to 3, is the foundation years for developing the personality of the child. So I'll give you an example of how real that is. You are a mother with your child in womb, 6 months, 7 months, and you're afraid of dog. Every time you see a dog, you run up and down the place. That fear is shared. That fear is now shared between you and that fetus.
Sometimes it's a fetus fear.
It can become the fear of the fetus.
And the reaction or the reflex of the mother, you think is the mother who have the fear for that animal.
So you're saying to me that the fetus can fear a dog without seeing it, or the mother fear the dog and react?
All right, for instance, I speak for myself.
Yeah.
I am not a person who normally afraid of anything. But during my pregnancy, if somebody come and open the door, I become startled.
Okay.
And I was never like that. And after pregnancy, I'm not like that.
So you're suggesting that you become startled, so that you get startled, and you're suggesting that it's a child that become alert.
Yes, it's a child that become alert, and being the host being now,
yes.
you react.
I hear you. Interesting perspective.
You react to the child inside. You see that woman afraid of dog, she never afraid of dog before. But this child become afraid.
I hear you. But the main point though in this exchange now is that the child experiences the emotions of the parent, and the child can maybe transfer their emotions.
Yeah, they transfer their emotions to the parents, and the experience both from the parents, because sometimes even in the pregnancy, the child listening to the conversation.
Yeah.
You can, if you're reading a story, you can see the child reacting to the story. If you're having a fuss, the child react to the fuss. The child become tense. You feel that stomach become
taut,
become hard. It want to break open.
Yeah,
sometimes you feel pressure in the vaginal area, like the child want to come out.
Okay.
But then as soon as you find back yourself in that relaxed mode, the child relax again.
So can you imagine now the mothers who are distressed from the conception to delivery? That picnic.
That is why we have some slow learners, and we have children with challenges. We can call them different names, ADHD, autism. We can call them all kind of names, but these are things that happen from conception and during pregnancy, while that fetus is developing within the womb.
So now, at the level, so we can we can state that that fetus has emotions.
Yeah, because what I know for sure, children who have been read to in the home tend to read a bit earlier in life than those that have never been read to.
Okay. Yeah, because the research also points in that direction.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're talking from the foundation now, you know, and that we must have more consciousness and control now of our own creations, because we are actually creating ourselves so that the race can maintain itself.
But
So,
you see, why we are not conscious of that creation, because guess what? A Lord God a creator.
Well, hold on,
So
no.
we,
Yeah.
as a black being, as a
Yeah.
black man, do not understand, because this is beaten into us into slavery, that it's everything outside of us that create us and our situations. So therefore, even when we make love and go to the highest level of spirituality, because without that level of emotion and spirituality, you can't really bring forth no life. And when we go through that now, only to be told that it's God make you,
not
it's
he do it.
Jesus make you, it's not your mother and your father anymore.
yeah,
All the
yeah.
glory take away from
Yeah,
them.
yeah. So now, the socializing now, I am alluding to now, into the religious experience now. That child now is doing retreat, all right? Remember now, you know, the child getting out of this bombardment from society now. So, and one of the critical institutions that capture the child early is religion. Because the parents are often captured already.
Long time them capture, man. Them christening, you know. Remember them Christ them, you know?
That process we want to get to know. That process we want to get to. We want to identify and speak a little bit about what is the value of that ritual to the African child called christening. What happens to the spirit? What happened to the
I
African
think
spirit?
they have tampered with the African identity from an early stage. So that child now begin to call upon a being that doesn't look like its
That
mother
a
or
real
its father.
alien? No, the
Right?
child are called
Or
up-
even itself.
Okay, yes.
The child cannot relate to that being. That's why in some African culture and society, when the child wake up in the morning, they have to literally worship their mother and father, you know. But because we know in this place beyond where they take us beyond ourselves, and we have to accept the concept of God. And it's not just God, but Lord God,
Yeah,
and
Lord,
His Son
yeah,
Jesus,
yeah, yes.
and the whole kingdom without a mother,
Yeah.
who is become a ghost or a spirit or something else.
serious
And it's
about
just
that.
a man thing. So we find our men now, because God is man, Jesus is man, the spirit,
The apostles were men.
you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you find that there is no real space for the female to excel herself a certain kind of way. Even the Bible tell about women must be subdued to them husband, and it's like she don't have any voice anymore. The man must talk for her.
But we know that
You
prior to
understand?
the introduction to these ideas, the Egyptian queens and Africans, women were queens.
Not where is it?
Yeah. So it's since them start this program probably 2,000 years ago.
Yes, this religion.
This religion, God, Lord God,
Lord
Jesus,
God,
Son of God
Jesus
thing.
concept, Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
You
So
understand?
our children now, I mean, imagine now, we are subjecting our fresh African minds, youths. These minds can't even call them name yet, you know. Because that process now, that we're going to call christening, you know, say when Africans were in chattel, the owners used to have a process that they conduct with them animals called branding.
Yes. I think at the christening stage that
Yeah, they must brand the cow.
Brand the people
push
too.
iron with them name in it for sure. You say
That's my
we
style.
own that. All the animals were branded. The Africans were also branded.
Yes, with the same number, the same farm.
But at the psychological level now, the branding was deeper. And I'm still just, I just say, as you might be saying as well, christening is a form of branding.
It is.
Yeah, it's
not a farm.
brand
It is.
the children now in them
Because
innocent
they-
stage, you know.
Because remember, you know, from the child or a person accept Jesus as Lord and Savior, you know what you become?
Yes,
a
sir, man.
Roman. You're automatically a Roman. Once you say that Jesus is Lord, Jesus is God, you are a Roman.
No.
I mean, a lot of Christian people may vex with us tonight to be reasoning this out because they don't understand the concept. But if they look for themselves, what are the criteria to become a Christian or to become a Roman? They are all the same. It's
So-
accepting Jesus as Lord and Savior.
So you imagine now, when you did come through as a youth, before you reach 3, them put that in here, you know.
But you know something, me born a rebellious soul because when they tell me something, you know, my question is, you know who make God?
No man, you couldn't ask a question between 0 and 3, you know. And that I said to you now, you know. Between 0 and 3.
It depends how fast you build your vocabulary
Yeah, but
and
you
thinking.
can't ask a question really between 0 and 3, you know. All we're doing is taking in
Taking
things.
information,
Right, so-
processing information.
But some of us don't process it, we just take it in. Unfortunately, later on in our life, some of us begin to process the information.
Well, you know, working with children, you know, is really an amazing stuff.
Tell me right
because
now.
you can have 10 children here. And I'm telling you, 0 to 3.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, telling them, because remember, you teach them through music and movements and all these stuff to get them
thinking.
Right? And some of them would really stop and ask you, so teacher, how we got there? Or, teacher, you know, say Jesus left on my yard. Yeah. You will get things like that from them.
Yeah.
Because that is saying to you, the child is thinking.
But the plantation society does not encourage black youths to think.
No, they are robots. They must just take instructions.
And
They're
that's
not questioning
don't
anything.
ask questions. And if you ask questions, them tell you, say, no, you're going in the Lord God business. So, once I want listening, you know, you see the process of christening, part of the revolution is we just stop that instantly, you know. Globally, you know. And to metamorphosis is heard globally, you know. Me talk to all of you in North America and Africa and the Caribbean, all of you who having children, why are you carrying these children through these processes?
Tradition.
Yeah, but slavery was
and
also a
cultural
tradition.
barriers.
Yeah, we have to break some of these traditions that are enslaving.
And I tell you something, within my household, my child is known as a Eden child.
What kind of child?
A heathen.
A heathen child. What that mean now? What that mean?
And weird word, because that christening thing, I never bring my child through that.
You know, it's a brutal process psychologically and the child.
So within the household now, you know, being with my mom and, you know, other family members, they are saying them find something wrong and strange.
Yes.
And I don't see nothing wrong with my youth where or anything happened to him when happened to no youth when they go Christian.
Yeah. And you see, it's a fear now, you know, because the parents are afraid that if the child are not christened, they're going to face the trauma of hell.
Come back to the Bible again.
Yes.
Suffer the little children to come unto me, for such is the kingdom of heaven. So putting these things in the children and beating this thing into them, suffering them to them, because it is that hard. So the child will not really go over a certain boundary within his or her own consciousness and intellectual abilities are thinking. They build up this boundary. You know, so the child will never look over there. And the ones who look over there is stigmatized and pushed to the corner that apparently they don't have no God in them, you know.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Yeah. So that is the
And the
biggest
devil
crime.
oneself that, you know.
Biggest crime that he?
Where I say.
Man, I tell you. So, metamorphosis, going through.
If you are living in a marketplace and you're no buyer or seller, you'll find yourself left in space, subject to be bought or sold. If you are living in a tenant
Metamorphosis. We need liberation. And we're working on liberation of the misconceptions and the false ideologies that we plant into our picnic them before them can even defend themselves, before them can even call them own name. They're under a heavy program. And this program now, when they begin to play out, when them turn adults now, everybody get panicky. I don't know what happened to the child, you know. Is you plant some seeds of Roman culture. And it has become, as my sister in here, tradition. But not all traditions are uplifting, because if you're a slave society, certain traditions are in place to maintain the slave conditions. Certain traditions remain in place to maintain the status quo. And so if slaves are going to upheave and create upheaval, we have to also think about the things then that we hold as tradition that are non-African. European traditions, European ideologies that capture the imagination of the African child. So here we are now following the philosophy and psychology of Europeans, Sigmund Freud and his homosexual agenda. And we have our own children now, and before them reach age 1, they are being sung songs about Jesus has saved them. And the mothers open Bibles over the children's head and begin to chant psalms to them. And so right away, the child is beginning to develop their own set of attitudes and their fears. And one of the greatest fear that the mother tried to put into the child usually is the fear of Jesus and the fear of God. Because the Bible tells them, say, the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. Mm-hmm. So what kind of picnic them can have? If the picnic going just go through upon the concept of fears, it's some ignorant people that.
I don't think, say, if there is a God, God wants anybody to be afraid. God wants you to be, is our child, our them child, not to be afraid. You know why you're picnic to be afraid of
But
you?
the slave owner wanted the slaves to be afraid.
Exactly, and them is the representation of God and Lord.
That's what it's all about.
Over the other race.
See there? So
and
when
they
you
make sure that the image of the God and Lord that the people serve, even until this day, is of European descent. And that's how the people want to be.
No, you see, outside, beyond the church and the school, because these are two institutions that really capture us as people early, you know. Because we can't say the family capture we, because the family disintegrate. We don't really have no solid framework as family. As a matter of fact, before we even go beyond family, before we brought into the plantation, we had a family system in Africa that we used to call extended family. Mm-hmm. That was a normal, that was a tradition. That means there are many family members that can represent authority. So if the mother or the father is not present, it doesn't mean that authority breaks down, because they're aunties and their uncles and there are extended members of the family.
Even members of the community.
And the
not
community.
necessarily family, but members of the community.
As well as saying, the community will be an outgrowth of the families.
Mm-hmm.
But the Western plantation society now does not promote and encourage the development of extended families.
No, they deal with nuclear family.
Nuclear sound like a bomb. You see a nuclear war.
Yeah, because it's war.
It's a war thing, you know.
Because it's isolation. So I am raising my child over here in this corner, and my sister raising hers over there, and my brother over there, and you know, they're not really mixing the way they're supposed to be. My sister, I can't tell you, mama gone on the road left him. In a business with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which in while my sister's supposed to call my child and say, come here.
Yeah.
Get in line. This is where you're supposed to be, and I'm supposed to be there.
So that tradition that was normal for us disintegrate. And even the nuclear concept, you know, it blew up even at the individual level of that family, you know. In other words, now, it's a mother and father, 2 children and 2 dogs and a cat. Mm-hmm. But the point is, why that system is not stable is that if any illness or death reach one of the parents, the whole structure go under stress.
Yes, because if one parent now
it's just one become a single parenting now.
And the child no
problems. You
problem
understand?
with the
exactly.
child, because the child used to the balance.
And the resources may be limited and so on.
Right.
When we have the extended family, if a mother drop out or a father drop out, the uncles, the brothers, and as I said, the community fill the spots, and the family structure sustain itself.
Right.
So we have been pulled away from our tradition, and we have been embracing the European tradition. We have been embracing European family structure and the European religion. And there's a thing now between 0 and 3, that is passed on now. I want to talk about a system of values. A thing called a value system. I want to go talk about values now. For example, Irisha. Ugly versus pretty.
Brown versus black.
All right.
Negroid versus Mongolians.
All right.
Or pretty hair or whatever.
Our tradition now on the plantation as African people is to glorify European
The lighter skin
lifestyle
with the lighter hair.
and European looks. And so we define beauty now along the level of the Europeans.
Paleness.
So our children now between 0 and 3, them pick up that,
Of course, because every day them see them mother rub or them father rub, them a go rub to
and
because
them
them
hear
want brown
and them
too.
see the magazine and them looking around between 0 and 3. These are alert beings, These are
But
something
even the dolls that they play with
All
don't
right.
represent them.
So the programming or the deprogramming that we need to go through is one to first recognize what the program is. And the program is a European structure in our meditation. So it doesn't matter that the chains are no longer on our feet, Our consciousness have been hijacked to the point wherein perhaps we're even thinking backwards. Because a lot of our behavior is unexplainable. And the only way we can explain our own behavior now is begin to look into ourselves when we were early in our childhood, and we're talking about age 0 to 3. Some of us can't remember our name at age 2. Some of us can't remember our own lives at age 2, what we was doing. But things were happening to us. We were being told things that, for example, that over this are pretty, that ugly. No, how you think is the best way to correct ugliness?
Well, I don't think anything is really ugly.
Me know. But if
Really?
you grow up here and say you're black and ugly,
You begin to accept it because, for instance, while I was growing up, I tend to have, of all my siblings, my hair tends to look a bit brown. And then half the time, them used to just cuss me. And see your head red like a foxtail. It's always attacking what I look like, what my hair is. So I never like it.
yeah.
So as soon as I become teenager and can start remove them little red hair off
Yeah,
of
you
my
start-
head, I start doing it.
So how you think
Because
people-
teacher put me out of school for it as well, saying that I put some dye in my hair
Okay,
or something.
okay.
Which in while this is the natural color of my hair.
So how you think people deal with ugly now? How you think them deal when people define them as ugly? What do you think them do?
They are going to try to get beautiful.
All right. So this is why now, you see the cosmetic industry,
Wow, it booms.
that's why it's a beard.
It booms.
So the
Your
Europeans,
ear is not nice.
your skin is worse.
Right.
Your
Your eyes.
Your
so there is
eyebrows.
something.
Your eyebrows. So the European have us so controlled that him define what is beauty according to how him and she look. And so because them classify us as ugly now, we build them economy trying to look pretty
Which is reflection of them.
of them. But we say at the same time we're staying poorer.
Yeah. And them getting richer.
And them getting richer.
At the same time, they are doing something else to look like us because they know
Yeah.
that this is the real strength, the real energy
Yes.
to deal with the environment within the universe.
You must have something in your skin like
So when
a
we
little-
now burn out that melanin,
Yeah.
that substance out of us, we become susceptible to cancers and all kind of disease. We
Guess-
can put up no resistance.
Guess what else we burn out? With memory.
Yes.
I
of
remember
course.
say from day one, day 2,
False identity.
or from inception, our skin is a storehouse for memories.
So you start to rub that out. So
You s- yeah, you
totally
start-
moving strange because really and truly, if you look at the persons who really bleach them skin,
Yeah.
they're not the person who you grew up with. They don't have the same value system.
Well,
Everything becomes scattered.
alien.
Yeah.
So value system now. When we begin to look at things like beauty, intelligence, who bright,
Who don't?
who don't. Between 0 and 3, we pass on these feelings to our children. So right away, nappy head. So
Short,
yeah,
tough,
ugly,
ugly, wicked.
yeah, dirty.
Man.
So
All these things you put into the
you
child.
put those things are into your own children. And even though you think so them can't talk between age 0 and 3, all of these ideas are being internalized.
But you have to remember, that it's not every child between 0 and 3 cannot talk.
No, man, we can't speak for
Some
every man.
read and
man.
some write.
I went to school at 3 because I could read. I could play piano at 3. No, the African child is not a copy of the white child,
Oh,
Remember this now,
it's a
people.
separate being.
A separate being who grows at a faster rate than the European child.
And develop everything faster.
Develop quicker. So when we talk about when the Europeans tell us that we're born with a blank mind,
A blank slate, they call
blank
it.
slate, tabula rasa, that's a European construction.
Yeah, they are blank slate. We have never been blank.
We're always born with knowledge and experience and talents and aptitudes. It's the environment. Now we need to pull these things out of us because genetic
And
power is
nurture
real.
them, not to pull them, but to nurture them.
Better language. Metamorphosis.
Do you have or are you seeking a place to rent, seeking employment or have a job vacancy? Are you selling a car or having a garage sale? Then come see us. Let Styles do the advertising for you and you'll be on your way in no time. Contact us at 876-286-9216 or 439-5160. Advertising Style. Advertise with Styles.
Bikini Sundays in association with Ray and Nephew White Overproof Rum presents Sexy in Black. Sunday, October 15 at Fort Clarence Beach, Hellshire, Port Moore. 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission $1,500 at the gate. Pre-sold $1,000 at Gina's Pharmacies and firstinlineja.com. Come check out the Rain Rum deals. Queue with a chaser, $800. Bikini Sundays. Sexy in Black. Sunday, October 15. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly. ID required. No weapons allowed.
Stack banana till the morning come. Daylight come and me one go home.
The Portmore CDC presents the 5th Annual Banana Festival, Heroes Day, Monday, October 16 at Cotton Tree, Portmore and St. Thomas. It's a day and night affair of family fun and food, admission free. The day will feature boat rides, football competitions, 1K, 5K walk, run and bicycle races, cook-off competitions, concert and the staging of Miss Mini Banana Pageant, Children's Village, display booths and much more. That's the 5th Annual Banana Festival, Heroes Day, Monday, October 16, Cotton Tree, Portmore and St. Thomas.
Architects, draftsmen, and surveyors, get your drawings printed in high-quality professional standards. We can satisfy your printing needs. Whether it is for presentation to your clients or for submitting building and subdivision application, make it VJ Printing Services. Whether drawing by hand or with computer-aided softwares, we will plot your negatives and print the copies as you need. We do high-quality white paper printing that is water-resistant and never fades, unlike traditional blueprint. For more information, call VJ Printing at 893-2266.
Start your foundation with the #1 block factory and hardware supplier in Portland, DIB Block Factory and Hardware Supplies Limited. They have large stocks of high-quality construction and hardware supplies. From electrical, plumbing, painting supplies, and building materials, DIB Block Factory and Hardware Supplies has you covered. Visit any of their locations in St. Margaret's Way, Port Antonio, or Buff Bay. Call 993-4415 or 913-3530 or email DIB_block@yahoo.com. DIB Block Factory and Hardware Supplies Limited. Your foundation starts with them.
Boundbrook Hilltop Guest House, conveniently located at 15 Boundbrook Crescent, Port Antonio. for a large space of single and double rooms at reasonable rate. Wi-Fi, cable TV, breakfast order, 24-hour security, CC cameras, parking, snack bar and lounge. Beautiful scenery of the Caribbean Sea. We're willing to assist with additional accommodation, such as fridge in your room, coffee machine, and so much more. Boundbrook Hilltop Guest House, proud sponsor of the Metamorphosis with Dr. Iman Blak, live on Styles FM, Mondays, 9 p.m. to midnight. Call Boundbrook Hilltop Guest House at 715-1644.
Yes, the movements and the things crucial. Where is it? WhatsApp? What the WhatsApp say? Where does it?
My brother Harvey in London, I say you're a strong man to see that. Think you might talk about the bird thing where you talk about.
Okay. Well, you know, Metamorphosis, we are global, you know, all around the world, you know. So people are tuned in. I always give thanks to the listeners, new listeners, and those who are traditional soldiers. I always give thanks to the link up. But you know, along the line of exploration of ourselves in these early phases, 'cause there's no European, there's no white man, there's no Chinaman, there's no Indian man who will sit down and try to work out the life of black people between the age 0 and 3. Those who have done it already are the Europeans. That's why they're able to formulate their theories and put concepts in place to control way.
But that's the same thing we use in our system, the European ideology and work that they put down to raise our children or even teach them in the institution.
That is
most of the stuff are of different cultural identities.
Serious thing.
Yes.
You know, sir, we're kind of fascinated with this phase, you know, this 0 to 3, because people don't seem to understand the importance of how attitudes can form quickly.
The sponge stage that, you know.
Sponge.
The sponge stage, they mimic everything, they listen everything. You might see a child who learn most. You see the child that just sit down and paying attention does not learn as well as the child that's moving around and like he or she is not paying attention. But if you should listen when that child who is playing in that center over there, echoing back everything he or she hears, is more than the one that is sitting
down
here
in one spot,
that is paying attention.
That
you would assume paying attention.
Let us talk a little bit about evidence and experience that shows you that a child between 0 and 3 is born with talents. And the evidence comes from when you put children, 1 year old or 2 years old, around instruments, musical instruments, keyboards, drum, flute, whatever. And he said when they move naturally towards any instrument, them feel like and start touch it up. Those feelings are coming from inside themselves, you know.
Yeah.
What attracts them, what pulls them to these various instruments is in them already, you know. Could be in them great-grandfather through the genetic powers.
And they have a sense of sound, harmonious sounds. If it's not harmonious, they can tell. Because I remember once I took my son, he was like a year and 5 months, I took him to a graduation. And when they started to sing the school song, it's such a boring song that little child just put a hand in his ears.
Cock him ears. Yeah.
Looking around and like I had up beside him, say, baby, you realize that too?
Yes.
And as soon as I changed that and I started to play something more lively, him begin to move about, try to clap and to do things. So they themselves can pick up on things that are in tune and out of tune.
And the parents don't know. Because oftentimes they talk down to the children. And
It's giving them harder work to do, I call it. Having your child to talk 2 or 3 times is the wrong thing to do. Never you growing your child and talk about tata and wawa.
Yeah, man.
You just say water.
Hey, but the child vex, you know, because look how much months the child hear proper language.
Right.
And come here and just boogle. The child
and
must
then
have
the child has to correct that now. As the child grow along the way now. Yeah, big boy now or big girl now, you must learn to say water. And you already teach your child to say tata.
Well, obviously, I think we are responsible for retarding our children.
Because that's what we call baby language and the uchi kuchi.
Yes. You know? And not recognizing that these beings are intelligent.
When you talk to a child and letting the child knows that I know that you know what I am saying, you know, you get a different response.
Yes.
You know, that child would look at you, it would laugh, it would try
and
to
realize, wow, them know.
Communicate with you.
Yes.
You know,
and children are manipulative, you know.
Hey, excuse me.
No, who knows more psychology than a child?
They test you, even on the breast.
All right.
They take the teeth and them squeeze you and them looking at your eye to see how you react.
So, them testing the reality from day one.
Test the reality.
From day one.
Day one, that breast in them out, and them feel like, say, I'm going to see how she going to react. And you squeeze
put
you.
Put upon that.
And then he just say,
and the man laugh when them
laugh.
done. Yes, man, I said that already. I said that already. So, part of the difficulty we're facing with our own offspring that we underrate. And we're so lacking the confidence of our own selves that we think our pick them because they are younger than us, them behind we.
They're more advanced.
But they are advanced. And the African, if you read and listen to Dr. Amos Wilson, he tells you that the African child born in an advanced stage. What the African child does in the first day, the European child does 6 months later.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we talk about thinking now, thinking powers, we have to recognize that the child is thinking. The child is using its brain. But one thing that prevents a child from thinking is fear.
Not the child fear though, but the parent or the adult
fear that are
around
put into the child.
The child.
Because, for example, now, don't go outside because outside dark. And the child don't care about, hey, boogeyman outside, there's some monster outside, you know. The child pause.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the child's subconscious mind, that thing can harm him or her, so them now go out there. Well, the same thing perhaps with religion. Telling the child, say, God, I watch him.
Yes, God is
and he better
over
behave
you.
himself.
Yes.
Because God going to do him that, and God going to do him that. So God becomes no different from the slave master.
But really and truly, if you really want to see how a child develop, as you talk about theorists, you talk about Sigmund Freud, you can talk about Montessori's theory.
Okay.
I think she has an excellent story. When she says, set up the environment and allow the child to explore. Let the child lead and you follow.
Yeah.
And oftentimes you do that to make your job so much easier.
But you see that theory now, the social conditions have to be in place now, you know.
Yeah, you set the centers, you set the stuff where the child going, now the child is going to be doing this and that, and you document and you find out the child learning style. Because they have different learning
but
styles.
This, you know, what I'm saying to you now, to get that in place, that man or woman or that family would have to have a certain amount of resources in place, a kind of stable settings to allow the child to be in that environment. In other words, now, if everybody's struggling in one room, that may be difficult. So the social conditions now for bringing your children into space, this space have to be prepared.
But listen now, even if it's one room,
Yeah.
you can dedicate one corner to the child development.
Okay.
By personalizing that, even if it's for the child bed or the child cribs,
yeah.
you put your posters, you put your science areas, you put,
Yeah.
you know, your maps and stuff. So when the child look around, there is stuff to interact with in that corner.
So you're speaking now as a teacher?
As an educator.
Educator. No, when we look into the community life and the family life, you think the women them have them kind of insights, or them a struggle for pay the next bill, or them don't know whether the nappy money will come, or them don't know where the Monday. So somehow that requires a sort of structured, maybe more stable structure that we're going to call a family now.
If you are, most people would recall old people when a child is born.
Yeah.
And about starting to move around anywhere between 9-10 months to a year that the child begin to move around, they would set up areas that they would probably put a bottle, they would put a knife, they would put a book and stuff, and they would allow the child to go and take something from there. And they said that whatever the child gravitate to first, that is what the child is going to do in life. So if the child takes up a knife, they would assume that that child is going to become either a surgeon or a butcher.
Yeah.
Right? If that child take up a book, that child will become a doctor or a teacher. You know? Or if he take up the medicine buckle. So there are things that are set
and to inspire
the parent, because you have seen this, that the child move towards different things, put interest in different things. You have some children who just always been packing a bag. You have some children who would always be dancing. Some children would always be singing. You know, and these are their personality. And you as a parent, what you do, you honest these. But some of them will say, boy, you dance too much, you make too much noise.
All right.
You know, you don't provide.
So again, no, you know, some of the responses of these parents now to something like what you just described is their own education that is they are trying to use to help them children. And in this plantation society now, we are kind of socialized to think, first of all, you go to school to get a job. As one of the first programs. And not only get a job now, you must try to become a doctor or a lawyer.
You must be employable.
Become employable. So, the child now sometimes miss the boat because the parent directing the child into the labor force rather than direct the child into them creativity. And if we were to spend more time helping the child identify their creative abilities, we'll probably get a better output.
Yeah, but that if the parents know that way of socializing the child, because almost of us know it's just work. You send the child to school to be able to come out to get a job, not necessarily to create a job. And the child is groomed to be exported, not to do anything for his or her own self from an early age, from the primary level. Even this thing what they call career day. You see children coming out, I am American this, I am American that. They are not anything of themselves African or even Jamaican. You know, so we are grooming our children with a mindset of exportation, not to be his or her own self or to be creative.
But then why should the African population do that when the religion tell them, say, look, don't worry about no creativity business, man. Just go to church and praise God.
And give them the money.
And give them the money.
Well, that is when now the African now have a revisit the African self from the African perspective. You know, today I've seen this video with a man. I have it on my phone. And he has this $100 bill. And he said, this...
Yes, I pressed it too. Yes, but you can speak.
Yes, he's saying that, you know, this race, anybody with it will get the $100, but I have a few things to say first. And one of the things he said, those are the parents who are still married, take 2 steps forward.
All right.
You know,
so
and stuff like that.
Let me help you with that now. So the whole line of people line off in a straight line. It's like they're going to imitate, let us say, a 100-meter race. And anybody win the race, it's $100. But the conditions them calling out now, if it apply to you, you take 2 steps forward.
Yes.
So I'm starting to say things like, how many of you have a stable family? Take 2 steps forward.
How many of you have to pay the bills?
How many pay bills?
How many of you don't? How many of you don't have to worry about this and that?
After I'm gone about 6 of the things them, you see the black man them still on the starting line.
Right.
And all the white kids them gone up and gone up and gone up. So what was the message you got from that?
Well, for me, it is showing you that these people organize themselves and them children in a way that they will always oppress the man who don't know himself or know his purpose. That is what I get from this. And it is showing you that the black man will have to fight for things harder because he or she doesn't necessarily have an inheritance or have somebody to guide them in a particular kind of way to inherit further down the line. They are just always on the edge. Where's the next meal coming from?
All right. So, and I want to say to that, I know that this is that always on the edge and lack of inheritance is a Christian religion imposed upon black people.
I have to die to go to heaven.
And you must not worry about the future.
Right. God will take care of you.
God will take care of it. And there is no generational wealth because what mother have and father have, child
You must go have their own.
So when we look at the program, the European program that Africans have been on for the last 200 years, it's hard to see a family in place. And it's hard to see children operating in a way to make parents feel as though, yeah, my effort.
You feel proud because your child is doing well.
But the doing well thing relative now because the society now, the bigger picture, wherein the same parents them now encouraging them children, some of them, the women, to aspire to get men who can give them children who brown.
Yes.
So we have some complex inferiority feelings as African people in ourselves, what we need to get rid of.
But you cannot get rid of something if you don't know the source. If you don't know of it, you cannot identify the problem. You cannot address it. Right?
So what would you suggest is the source of some of those inferiority feelings that African people have?
One of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
Some people know and some don't know. This Willie Lynch thing is one of the biggest reinforcement.
Yeah.
This Willie Lynch syndrome or the Willie Lynch program.
Yeah.
Or whatever Willie Lynch you want to call it. But I would like to call it a program.
Yeah.
Because that's how he described it. He says this will last for hundreds of years, maybe thousands, that people begin to believe in it and become self-destructive. And that is what is happening to our race today.
So what program
we really believe in...
Chris, we believe in the Willie Lynch program is a kind of synopsis of what the Bible tried to teach for all these years, you know?
Well, them complement each other.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the Bible, they're before Willie Lynch let her write, you know?
But the difference between the Willie Lynch and the Bible is spiritual.
What that mean?
It is something outside of yourself into a heavenly
Up
state.
in the sky.
Right.
So that's what spirit mean.
Right, something outside of yourself, something out there in distance.
So
that you cannot hold on to.
I hear African people are very spiritual. What that mean then? That means we up in the sky.
That is why they can't trap us. Because our level of spirituality in Africa is dealing from our ancestral line,
See.
right? Which while when we are brought to the West, it becomes a religious thing. So it's a thing outside of yourself. It's a thing that you have to be depending on a God or a person to lead you through this kind of a spiritual state, which the black man is already a part of the universe. He is black, the plants are green, chlorophyll, melanin, the same thing. So we are connected. But when you are moved to the West and you're beaten into something else, you become confused, you become lost, so you just accept whatever is pushed down on you at this state. So the people don't know where they are. And it is evident in society of what they do to themselves.
Definitely.
It's evidence.
So this spirituality construct now, because of late I hear people tell them, well, you know, boy, I'm on a religious anymore, I'm on spiritual. It don't sound as if it's much different then.
But the two of them walk hand in hand.
Them sit up in the sky.
Two of them walk hand in hand. Spirituality and religion walk hand in hand. It's like wife, husband, brother, sister.
So then, can we separate the emotions from the spirit now, spirituality? Or is emotion...
And experience, spirituality and emotion ties in.
And they say, them tie up, they know, you know, sometimes some of them tie up, they have to untie, you know. Because within black woman tradition now, my question is, can a black woman be spiritual and still maintain her sexuality? Because under Christendom, there's an attempt to separate sexuality from everything else and call it a sin.
No, I would not say they want to separate sexuality. I think the aim and the objective of the Christianized world is homosexuality.
Metamorphosis, will soon come again.
Of course, I forgive regard to the man who's sending in the WhatsApps. Harvey, over there in London. London Bell. Hey, London, so the bell stop ring?
For real?
Yeah, man, the big Ben stop ring, At the end of the empire, them don't even know that. Anyway.
Yes, Harvey. Yeah, man. All right. And Fitzroy, you say you love the topic, and I don't know what you call the guys, but I understand what you mean. And I hope that lots of men are there tuned in. Yes, Fitzroy, we get that.
Next
Yes.
person up at top without number.
And there's no name on the other person, but we're breaking down the child's lifespan. And that's the African child we're looking at, We're not business with the European. Theme thing done broke down already and right up by European men. The problem is that the European men have used their theories and try to force it upon African children. And by extension, by the entire African race. So them give it all ego. Them tell us we have ego and id and super ego. Sigmund Freud foolishness,
Yeah, and he was a damn madman.
So
he never even know him own self.
The man will hate woman,
Yeah.
So then here we come now to the homosexual agenda now. Because that has been a deep issue now within black man tradition for the last 100 years.
You know why it becomes such an issue for the black man?
Yeah.
Where the black man come from, we know a family with male and female. We know of kings and queens.
Yes.
We know of gods and goddesses.
See?
Right? But when we brought over, or brought beyond, when we were carried beyond ourselves and our identity, we becomes mixed up now with some different kind of God, and all the gods are male. And this Godson and Godfather and God ghost.
Yes, I.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there is no thing of a female principle in the religious and especially the Christian foundation.
Mm-hmm.
There is no place for a female.
Even in the heaven story, a pure male angel.
It's only male up there.
Yes, sir.
Right? So therefore, in the church or in any religious sector, it is okay for two brothers to drift off and visit each other any hours of the day, any hours of the night, or two sisters to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It is okay because the kingdom of God is Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. But once the female and the male begin to link up, they
Kingdom
begin...
of God will mash up,
Exactly. Because the kingdom of God is man, and is male only.
And guess what happened? It's white males.
Yeah.
To be more specific.
To be more specific.
So it's not even African man,
No.
So we know in the
African man can do without a woman.
As me know it too.
And
so,
the African woman can do without her man. She don't know nothing, forgot to know woman.
That means I and I can't exist in the God kingdom then.
No, because we're not from there.
So we are really Africans.
We're Africans.
We are from the African kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the problem with that Christian book is that it gives you a history of the world through the lens of Hebrews and Jews. But it doesn't give you the history of the world through the lens of Africa.
No,
so
but
African history and Bible history is not the same thing.
But there and then again, some of the passages in the Bible really highlights
some things in Africa.
Some things in Africa.
Yeah, that's the trap.
Right? Because it talk about Ethiopia.
Yeah, that's the trap.
It talk about Jerusalem.
That's the trap.
But you're the big trap. The African man don't know this is in Africa. I'm thinking some part in heaven where the long time gone and soon be again.
And soon be again. What a drama.
And don't know this is physically existing here. Ethiopia is there. This is where we are from.
Yeah.
You know, some of us will look straight here or curly here. There is places in Africa we can identify ourselves as.
True.
We can be Somalians, we can be Ethiopians, we can be from the Congolese, we can be Nubians. You know, and that is the beauty of the black man.
Yeah.
The diversity is like flowers.
True.
You know, when you have a flowers garden, you just don't want roses. You want lilies and tulips.
So can you blame an African man want to have several women then?
No,
Along
but the African man.
Along the line. That's why it's a natural,
The African man has to be ready to take care of his family and his women and make each of them feel comfortable and equal. You cannot set them up, and you cannot be in a broke pocket man.
No, we're not.
And want to have 2, 3, 4, 5 women.
No, it's poverty. No, you're bringing out the race.
You understand me?
It's poverty. You're bringing out the race.
And all of them women has to be skilled women.
Yes.
I can't just for sex.
So hold on now. You think say
we have a generation of women now who realize, can you put it this way? You have a lot of women who think the only way through is through using them sex, forget certain things, Because man did it. Because
how they socialize again. And the importance of how they find men to be it for them. For some women, they cannot bear to exist without a man. Right? Or a man without a woman.
See?
Because she need this boss over her. She need this God, somebody to direct her. Somebody to, you know, and it's all about socialization.
Yeah. But you see, this interference in our family structure with this Christian God, it actually disempower the man, Because me and you are tried. And me come to my house and see you have a picture of God, what look slave owner. Can you tell me say I'm son that? Can you don't know what him look like? Mm-hmm. So you put a picture of him son. And then you tell me say I must give him thanks for what me bring in and give you?
No, could
what
never
a piece of
be.
drama that.
And that is an image, that is image worshipping. Worshipping graven
the black
image.
woman them now. Them have to let go Jesus, Me think anytime black woman let go Jesus.
Let me tell you what the black woman need. The black woman need her black man to wake up out and slumber and support her. That she don't have to look to no image or no alien.
Say that again, Irish.
So the black woman need her black man to support her every way, that she don't have to look to no alien man or no alien God.
You hear that black
anything
man?
else.
You hear that black man?
Because the black man is a complete being. Him just have to wake up himself out of the same slumber with the woman in her. And the woman have to realize that she's not valued for her vagina. Because that is all we are socialized to be valued, because your vagina tight it good. And that is what John want, and that is all what John see for. When a man start to see you as his mother, as his wife, as his companion and his daughter, and you seeing the man vice versa, then the African race is ready to move forward and reclaim what is theirs.
This is the Metamorphosis, Styles FM.
Styles FM on social media. View us on YouTube, Styles FM Radio. Follow us on Instagram at Styles FM. Like us on Twitter at Styles FM 961. Become a fan on Facebook, Styles FM 96.1.
Portland, Saturday, October the 28th, Javon Genius presents Portland Jam Fest, going down at Sunshine Beach, Port Antonio. This is gonna be a big one, featuring Kia Patan, Shizzy Sherlock, Danica Dennis, Brian Nighthawk, and a host of others. Back in Band F Major and Prophecy Band, party to rocking time music admission. Only $1,200. We say Portland Jam Fest 2017. They want their love.
Bikini Sundays in association with Ray and Nephew White Overproof Rum presents Sexy in Black. Sunday, October 15th at Fort Clarence Beach, Hellshire, Portmore. 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission $1,500 at the gate. Pre-sold $1,000 at Gio's Pharmacies and firstinlineja.com. Come check out the Ray Rum deals. Queue with a chaser, $800. Bikini Sundays. Sexy in Black. Sunday, October 15th. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly. ID required. No weapons allowed.
Do you have or are you seeking a place to rent, seeking employment or have a job vacancy? Are you selling a car or having a garage sale? Then come see us. Let Styles do the advertising for you and you'll be on your way in no time. Contact us at 876-286-9216 or 439-5160. Advertising Style. Advertise with Styles.
Boundbrook Hilltop Guest House, conveniently located at 15 Boundbrook Crescent, Port Antonio. For a large space of single and double rooms at reasonable rate, Wi-Fi, cable TV, breakfast to order, 24-hour security, CC cameras, parking, snack bar and lounge. Beautiful scenery of the Caribbean Sea. We're willing to assist with additional accommodation, such as fridge in your room, coffee machine, and so much more. Boundbrook Hilltop Guest House, proud sponsor of the Metamorphosis with Dr. Iman Blak, live on Styles FM, Mondays, 9 p.m. to midnight. Call Boundbrook Hilltop Guest House at 715-1644.
Boundbrook Hilltop. Let it be known that this is the place to be once you're into Port Antonio. Hail up Conroy, hail up Pauline, and hail up the fine staff. You know Boundbrook Hilltop, Irisha?
Yeah, man. Down the corner, just round
Yeah,
the corner.
just on the corner, got Springbank foot there, so
Yeah,
I can't
so
bump a hilltop.
we're encouraging people when they come to visit Port Antonio, make sure say them stop in at the hilltop. Very cool, very relaxing, and quite
Yes, a lovely view.
lovely view of the Caribbean.
Wow.
Metamorphosis.
Tell me that we never played any part. We know our history. Who built the pyramid? We are from the Nile Valley. Tell the truth to humanity, changing the true history of the past. We know that this conspiracy will not last. 'Cause we know our history. Who built the pyramid? We are from the Nile Valley. Tell the truth to humanity. We all know your aim. Come on, historian. We all have a claim to fame. Time to tell the world now, tell the world now. We all know your aim. Come on, historian. We all have a claim to fame.
Yes, Metamorphosis continuing into the segment called Alkibulan, our story, Kemet. And it's also always very important that as much as we discuss contemporary issues, we reflect on how we were before we got captured. And how can we recapture our essence? As much as it has been brutalized over the last 2,000 years, you can't kill we off. There's an attempt, of course, to what the Europeans call population control. And the Europeans are 10% of the world population, 10%, and them talk about control. They're not producing or reproducing at the rate that they want to. So who do you think they're trying to control? The 90%. And you control them by reducing the population by any means necessary. So we have to be very alert to these various procedures and things that they bring onto the island to inject and infect our people. Now, the ancient African societies, when we talk about a child between age 0 and 3 coming into the world through contact with two living forms, male and female, and we're saying to the island that the child comes in not with a blank brain, because the genes pass on the memory of the parents and the various genetic potential. But where does that potential come from? How is it that we can claim to be intellectual forces? Where do we get the memory of our intellect from? So that's why it's important to know where we are in history. The Egyptians also allow us to recognize the science of mathematics, physics, chemistry, engineering. All of these disciplines were put to use to construct the pyramids, to construct the turn in the River Nile. In other words, now, Irisha, the Europeans are tell us we were born duns. And to what him call education now, I'm going to tell us things. I'm going to tell you where we come from. I'm going to tell you everything we want to tell you. But I'm so listening to you that we have some memories of some institutions of the past that him can dismiss. For example,
Timbuktu.
we talk about universities.
Talk about Timbuktu.
We talk about universities and libraries and sources of knowledge. Is that a European thing, Europeans, we know, invade Africa and burn libraries and steal books and manuscripts.
Yes, and then now they turn it around on us and let us seem like we are the backward race when they take our things and study and claim it and then give us give us their name, their identity, their culture, their lifestyle.
And their version of what
and
we
their
did
version of what we did know. But that is what we know is not ourselves, it's of them.
A serious thing.
Because if we have known ourselves, what they know, we would have more powerful than that 10%. But because they have taken our knowledge and give us the reverse, their lack of knowledge, we become servants and slaves.
So you don't realize that then, based on what you're saying, as Dr. Wilson would say, it's only one way you can capture so many people, and you're such a small number, you know. You have to confuse them mentally. You have to interfere with them consciousness. You have to reverse them consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So we are doing a lot of things in reverse, you know.
Yes, man.
Plenty things, you know. One item think about it,
But we think it's natural, just like how them say you don't see things like how you look at them upside down.
You know.
So them tell us we see in a reverse.
Yeah,
I mean, I believe in that, you know.
They are programmed also to think in a reverse. I'm going to give you a simple example of reverse thinking. Basic needs. Basic needs. What is it that a human being or a man needs to survive, separate from air and water?
Them say food, clothes, and shelter.
All right. Them say food, clothes, and shelter. In the reality, shelter should be first.
Mm-hmm.
Shelter first. Because when you have shelter, you have peace of mind. And you also have the land, which is the basis of no power. So once them tell you food first, up your belly you think about it.
Yes, so that's why now you become nomads.
And
you not gather, that's why it's a Rolling Stone gather no
Or you
mass.
controlled by the rent man.
Yes.
Right now, who more wicked than the rent man? Ask any Jamaican out there, ask any African out there in the island or in the western plantation, who more dangerous to deal with more than the rent man? That give you...
Maybe JPS.
No, man bridge things, man. No, man bridge things, man thief water, man. When you see the rent, man...
man give them story too, man. And man hide them out too, you know.
Hold on. And you see, when you hide them out, you don't have the peace of mind, you know, because you can't. That's the whole point. You can't rest. You don't get the mental rest to think about where you can get food from. There is no mental rest to think about how you're going to create and become creative.
You know,
So-
it's real truth. You know, once you can rest your head comfortable somewhere, everything become easy because you can rest and think.
That's the point. No, you can use up the great power, which is your thinking power.
Right.
But you see, if you don't have no place to rest your head,
Anxiety kill you, man. All they
nature
think
kill
about
you
is
too.
food.
Nature kill you too. Rain kill you. Hot
Yes,
sun kill you.
Everything kill you.
So that's an example of backwards thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And African black people have been programmed to food first. Ask anybody in the street.
Yeah, food
Yeah,
first.
man, food first, man.
Boy, I'm going to look at food, you know.
That's the way it reach.
Yeah.
And you don't say, boy, I'm going to look at a piece of land, you know. You don't hear nobody say that, you know.
Not so easy.
So if we begin to change around the program, what I call reverse the curse, and think in a more thinking, you know,
Because once you have land, you have food, you know.
you say you have you can even
Like
sell
you
that
have
land.
land, you have house.
And you can sell a piece of land and get raw cash to convert into other business. So the program that we get, it backwards. And it's like them tell you, say, you have to love Jesus more than you love yourself. That is backwards. Because you're supposed to care for yourself first.
And if you don't love yourself and you don't care for yourself, how can you extend love to me?
So we, have, as a people now, have realized now, so where we're coming from before we got into the slave system is from a set of highly intelligent people, highly intellectual people, scientists, artists, engineers, judges, poets. That is the culture where we're coming from. So our children can't born blank.
Never will. Even until this day, our children
Up to this
can't
day,
born blank.
we born with all of these potentials, but because the parents don't know, they don't
develop, they don't work on it to develop that, to nurture it,
as you
to
were saying
bring it to
before, the
fruit.
environment, they don't help to create the environment
Right.
to help that child to become the genius that the child is.
Exactly.
So when we talk about Al-Kibu land and African history, it's not enough to talk about the greatness of our African history unless we can bring that greatness into the present. It's not enough to just get up and talk about, yeah, man,
When we were
this and where we
we
were.
have to
How
talk
can the
about-
world become is?
But he's no.
Yeah, how do we bring it into the present? So that should be our challenge. So, African story, African family life, African systems. We have to get a grip of those concepts and at the same time realize what is it that is preventing us from applying our Africanness in this time. What is it that we have been using to black
the
up our...
structure of society is preventing us, and religion is preventing
religion
us.
thing serious.
Religion and the structure of society.
You know?
Because, for instance, as a woman, as a Rasta woman, and working into the system, you would like to wear your turban and so on, and them, you know,
Yes.
if you want to work with them, they're going to tell you, well, is that a part of our policy, you know, to wear head cover or to wear this and that? You'll have to do this and do that to be a part of us.
Very British.
Yes.
How do you become British? So if you don't come in a jacket and tie, you might not pass.
Exactly.
But the jacket and tie man is a man who created some of the biggest robbery in the country.
Must, because you trust the man in a suit.
What a thing.
Look on pastor when wear
Well,
suit.
so you say the people...
Look on liar when wear suit. Look on a real top criminal when wear
suit.
All right.
So
Look on a dead man when wear.
Why make you name suit? Yes, I only with him.
One machi kumbachna, Africa da fabachna, kidafanya, kidafarafet, one machi kibunjul, kidafarunjul, one yandeke sawai, kidafarunjul, one machi kibunjul, kidafarunjul, dafnin rafet yom wentamenda ingama, getting dafnin rafet yom wentamenda ingara, dafnin rafet yom wentamenda ingara, did you know, that's a richer Africa, did you know? That's a richer Africa, did you know? Said the whole world love it, did you know? Said the whole world love it. Be proud of your culture. Be proud of that what you got. Be proud, you got to hold on to it. Be proud of your culture.
Yeah, the culture is vital. The culture and the history help to form your personality. Serious thing. Culture and history. And once those are affected or disconnected, you're going to have a disturbed personality. You hear them say Jamaica have 95% of people with a disturbed personality disorder. 90% of the people.
With them born, them start give them disease and injection experiment begin with the people of Jamaica, people of colored, and what they call poor people.
Yeah.
So we become guinea pigs, right? So we are disturbed. One of the latest thing where them want to experiment with is our new babies. Our babies, they have experiment their drugs upon the bigger women, and it has caused a lot of problem. And now they are targeting the younger children because what? War. Racial
There's
war.
a racial war. And the awareness need to be there.
And you hear they talk about microcephaly, them talk about AIDS, condom use is war, cutting down the black man is war, the food is war.
Population, them trying to
right,
reduce.
they're producing food to turn male into female and female into male homosexuality, so there can be no birth within the black race. And through poverty, our youths, both male and female, are going into homosexuality, which means the race is been dying slowly.
You know, say Irish. You know, so the response of plenty black people nowadays, especially those who get exposed now to the European education system, to the secondary and tertiary levels, that these women, especially the women, when them get there, them say them no want no more picnic. You know? In other words, now, the system have sucked up a lot of our black women who sometimes have the greatest potential intellectually and academically and culturally. And these are women now who decide that they not have no more picnic.
Or any at all.
Or any at all. So it's another way to stop the progression of the race, you know, what we call the propagation of the race, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So the women who are brilliant and have been given exposure to develop themselves, rather than push forward more of their own kind, them shut off. And it's all about economics and beauty now, because they don't want them breasts
to fall. Don't want any stretch
don't
marks.
want
Don't want to
marks
get
on
fat.
them. And all that. So it leads to a cycle now, you know. So a lot of these women are sometimes frustrated because when the maternal instincts cry out, how it go? Is that a real thing?
What? When maternal instinct cry out, you're out for mad.
Wait, tell.
Maybe if the women out in radio land really wish to speak the truth, there is time. Especially when you're kicking at 18, 19, 20s, going over into 30s, and you don't get pregnant yet, it's like you're haunted.
What you say?
Your body a cry out, I need life, I need to support the hurt, I need something right here.
Serious thing.
You know, and then, you know what happened? During that process, whether we're ready or not, we find ourselves pregnant by males who are here only to propagate, not to do anything of substance, only to propagate. So when that woman get that desire of that child, and then that feeling of that desire, and that desire pass now, and then the reality kicks in, frustration. And if she's not mentally ready, that child is going to be mentally disturbed. And if there is no male support, because the man them possible things say, get her pregnant and me out there, so I'm picking her and that's it, so everything all right.
Yeah. Come back anytime the picnic go big.
Yeah, but they wouldn't realize that, you see, the brain of the male is attached to that child. And that child, doesn't matter if he's 100-year-old, if that father is not there, that child not going to function. If that child don't interact with that father, not going to function properly. Even up to when you are 70 or 100-year-old, that crave for that father is there. Even just to see him one day.
Yes, yeah.
Even just to go through a 2 stone down a river. Because most men think, say, me have to go with money. Me not have no money for game. But the present over the presents. Right? So the present of the father is more important than the gifts. And we tend to mix up. And we female as well groom ourselves that way and groom our children that way. The man can come look for the picnic and then bring something come. Right?
And
but
if the man do have not to come, him feel shame.
Him feel same can come.
Feel shame.
But fathers, when they have something, yes or no, your picnic them need you.
Yeah, but you say here come
so visit them.
Yeah, but here come a relationship now because you can visit them and the vibes with you and the mother is a struggle. The child sense it before you even reach. The child pick up them vibes.
Look here now, you see, as male and female going through, and we have children involved, we have to learn how to put aside our emotions.
No, that big maturity that now you're talking about.
Right?
Big maturity that.
Our feelings, and know now that this is not about you, the mother, or the father anymore. It's that middle piece within there, that pawn, that son, that child, that daughter.
Is there an idea now or a concept of ownership when a child comes into play between the man and the woman? Isn't there a struggle now about who own the child? What do you think?
In some relationship, there is.
I would say in most relationships, the woman say a fit them picnic.
And she's right.
How
because
can she be right?
You know why she's right?
Tell me why.
From the moment she get pregnant, she left with this responsibility upon herself.
No, the man is helping her carry it. You say no?
The man them gone too.
No, so if the man doesn't run away, and if the man stay and deal with the issue right, what would you say?
It's for them pitney that.
All right. So
it's for them. But if she have to do everything on her own.
Definitely. I can understand.
And then
that
this
now.
man I come all for blue now after my son or my daughter become successful. Oh, my pitney that you know.
No, that
and that pitney never get a grain of sugar or even come spend one day with you.
Yeah.
No man. I can't feel pitney and my pitney and then know because the child becomes successful, they become into making your demands and telling the child
even
stuff about the other one.
Even the idea of my picnic now, because the man never did it. You know, but in the real world, you don't own the child. You're responsible for the child. You don't own it.
It is your responsibility.
Good. So how does ownership get involved in that? No?
Because there's a thin line between responsibility and ownership, you know. Because if you don't have access to certain things, you know, you can't really own.
Emancipation comes at a time to make people know so they can no longer own each other as persons, you know.
I think it's different when it comes on to children and parents.
But I am saying
why? And especially in our world today that we are living in, when you young and me young, our parents could have possibly do some things to us or say some things and that's it. But no, when our children do some things and say some things, it is on you, the parents. It is on you. They are telling you that it is you. You are responsible. You are the one who is this and the one is that. So that's why it comes down to be fear picking up, because you have to groom that child.
Yeah, we're not discussing fear, but the fear don't mean
understand?
own. All I'm saying to you, fear can't mean own, because you can't own nobody. And I think it causes problems now, even in the development of a child. Where sometimes the child, we just see the child must grow and own. And them go and like say them own the picnic. And I'm saying, I don't think...
You cannot own the individuality of the person, you know. But for a certain time of them life...
Yeah, you're fully responsible. Even
right?
up to death, sometimes you're responsible for them.
And you know, so I'm not responsible if you not pick me up to death. I'm not in that,
So,
you know.
at what point you think say, you're no longer responsible?
You see, when that child or those children can fend for themselves amicable, they are on their own. But I still have a responsibility to support.
May I say to you?
To support.
Yeah, that may I say to you?
Not to provide.
No, different thing, but
to support, no.
In other words, your responsibility diminish significantly.
Yes.
But you don't own them. My point I'm making, you know, is that as African people in the West, we're making an error where we claim ownership of the children because they are not property. We are responsible for them care, for them nurture, knowing that once they become what you say, adult and can manage themselves, they're responsible for themselves. But I think sometimes the ownership issue causes a war now between the man and the woman. Because to me, I see them fighting over picnic.
No, but first thing, you know, first thing the man always draw away. Say, no, my picnic.
It depends. And next time I show you, and next time I say woman now, and next time I go to the woman and say, yeah, no, give me a picnic.
Yes, you have a man like that.
Right. So sometimes.
But them on the rear, you know.
You're right, the rear now. You see, there's a general, I think, a kind of mistrust, especially before a child born, especially in terms of relations. Because the man will probably have other women relations, and woman can have other male relations at the same time. That when the child born, there's sometimes doubt.
But you know that from conception take place, some persons can tell you that you are pregnant and that child is my child.
I think most women know when the egg lick.
Me know that by my experience.
Put it this way, anything connect must let have a vibration.
Me know that from my experience. I know the moment I get pregnant.
Well, I know the moment
you impregnate that one.
Yeah.
And it's not every man can know that. So therefore, the man who know when him create that being is the man who can say, listen, my picnic that give me my picnic. But the man who is out of touch with himself or just walk around and release himself here, there, and everywhere is out of touch. So it's the man who in a doubt though, when a woman say me pregnant, whether she have another man or not. It is a man in a doubt.
True.
And the female part, the one who sleep around too much, don't know who's.
So you say no, we say me as a man, me as I should know.
No, but sometimes you know.
And she decide who she going to get to.
But listen this now. Woman run well up a racket, you know.
Tell me,
right?
Tell me, because
and sometimes this happen because the male, we're supposed to be the dominant force. We're supposed to be providing and protecting the female and the youth them. Not doing so.
Okay.
So she now end up have to go out there. So sometimes she lack her skills. Sometimes she don't have no know how to do otherwise and go sleep with another brother. But it so happen now that the man where she has cheat with on the side now, maybe she use condom and the burst, you know, and something may happen. Maybe she out of touch, you know, so she don't even know so she pregnant, you know. But she come home to the brother where she live with now.
The drama.
And them have sex there, so now, so a mix up come right there, so now them have to go do a float dumpling thing now, or do some DNA.
Well, here me say now. Here me say now. You see them mix up business, eh? We think there are some laws in place that the British put down away that conflict with cultural behavior. In other words, no. This concept of monogamy, I think is a problem in a black people's life, both for the woman and the man. Because Christianity tells you, say, you can only have one relation. But it has been in our DNA before Christianity.
It's in polygamy.
To be polygamous.
Yeah.
With resources now, you know.
With resources now,
we
without.
don't have a broke pocket polygamy, right?
And them my brothers say we want to live, so them are more than poverty. Them don't even have knowledge.
So may I suggest now, maybe in this time, we must take out of the closet and put. It's like how the gay them come out and the homosexual them everybody come out of the closet. It's the relationships where man have more than one woman with children and vice versa. I think that must come out of the closet.
Of course.
Oh, you
come clean.
You think you could have managed if you know say the man who is the father of your children also have children with another woman over there? Or you think you could have managed that?
The shock of it, if something where I hide, a shock of
from it. No, hide and seek.
All right, if you make me know about it, sure, we're supposed to know about that. I wouldn't really have a problem with that because me know the woman know me. We know how we are dealing with this situation. Yeah. But it's a moment the hide coming out and the hide and seek is a mistrust. And then me now I go probably feel jealous or the next man I go say, well, the woman up here get more than me, or the one out the road get more than me. So I start withdraw certain things and she start to withdraw certain things and you start to find problems.
So you think that perhaps if the woman they must unite and just agree for just deal with one man. In other words, no, I look at polygamy in the reverse. Not that the man having plenty of women, but the women sharing one man.
But you one know. The man them get afraid when the woman them start to unite. No.
Why?
The brothers them get afraid because they must say, oh, them two women I think no. And most of the time them start to get afraid, you know. Because them I think no. So when them two women I could not plot a scheme because not for them sense woman a plot a scheme. Because a woman we know, you know, say John asleep with Mary, you know. And she accept that. Yeah. Because there's something she really can't do. If she go quarrel, John still a go.
Okay.
And if she go accept him, still a go.
Yeah.
But there is a way how him deal with Mary, separate and apart from how him deal with Jane.
Yes.
And then out of that, no.
It can cause enough
complications.
Maybe him not matured enough and politically astute enough for manage women. Because look here, enough man can't manage one woman, you know. Enough man can't manage one woman.
No, that's them can't manage themselves.
Period. So when a man say he with more than one woman, he better know him really say and do, you know. And that many men in our society here have that level of consciousness and political astuteness to manage two women. Because the women are powerful. You know, say, look at the powerful by themselves, much this when it's more than one. But what it brings out is perhaps it probably eliminate the deceptions. Because consciously we keep saying, yeah man have enough for man. But women them keep saying, well, as long as I don't know. No, how does that work out?
How that work now is because of the whole hide and seek thing from day one.
From day one.
Because a woman, you know, I was discussing this with a brethren the other day, and it's like, I don't know, for them live life, for them understanding a man-woman thing is totally different from mine. Because I was saying, when a woman is married or have children, a man doesn't necessarily want that woman to be his woman. He more just want to have sex with that woman there. Which in while, when a woman knows that a man have a wife up there, so, or another woman, she's willing to be with that man even to provide some competition for the next woman, you know. And she will put up with that man having many other women and children and whatever, you know. When the male is not doing that, you know.
So what do you think causing that difference?
I just plain think say men are some kind of selfish being and think that women doesn't have certain kind of feeling or certain emotions. And them basically own women and women are boxed up. And this is how man is. And you accept that if you want a man or you have to go deal with a man. So for me now, me tell myself, say, me not have to have no man neither. So no man not go box me up in no corner and tell me, say, well, so it is, you know, take it or leave it.
Okay.
Me not in that with it.
So you have to have some level of autonomy. And so that you can at least stand on your own.
Yeah,
vital.
You have to stand up on your own to deal with the matters.
Yeah. Well, I think in a relation, both persons should be able to stand on their own as much as them can support each other. But you have to at least stand on your own as a start. All right. Now, Break. Metamorphosis.
Boundbrook Hilltop Guest House, conveniently located at 15 Boundbrook Crescent, Port Antonio. For a large space of single and double rooms at reasonable rate, Wi-Fi, cable TV, breakfast to order, 24-hour security, CC cameras, parking, snack bar and lounge. Beautiful scenery of the Caribbean Sea. We're willing to assist with additional accommodation, such as fridge in your room, coffee machine, and so much more. Boundbrook Hilltop Guest House, proud sponsor of the Metamorphosis with Dr. Iman Blak, live on Styles FM, Mondays, 9 p.m. to midnight. Call Boundbrook Hilltop Guest House at 715-1644.
So we ended up all the money on the text line, the people, Ivan, Kanewood, and Jamax. Yeah, just, you know, stay tuned, Metamorphosis, Irish, I'm telling you as it is. Coming straight from the Queen's mouth, because horses can't talk.
From astrology straight to biology. Black my story. Black my story. Not his story. Black my story. African glory. African glory. What we want to see is African liberty. From Marrakesh to Egypt, we go the whole from Cape Town to Addis.
Yeah, Metamorphosis going on. Boy, this program I had done in it had done this program I had done in fast, you know. It had done fast, you know. But critical, we're just trying to open up the window. It's not just the doors, because the doors are at one level. We have to open the window so that you can look through different perspectives and hopefully see more of thyself. Because ultimately, you know, the self is a redeemer. And the self is the source of the own salvation. Nothing outside will come and be the redeemer. There is a set of experiences that all of us, not all of us, the race generally went through that have a serious effect on us, whether we are the children or whether we are the adults. It's a thing that happened that they call, the Europeans call it a middle passage. It was a journey, the site, I call it the Atlantic Holocaust. And Europeans use the word Holocaust when it suits them. And they apply Holocaust to a little picnic that happened in Europe. Holocaust should be used where it is obviously evident that a vast number of people are being put to the sword or perish under abominable conditions. So when you hear about the Holocaust, that term, you probably hear about it relative to Hitler and the Jews.
Yeah, but I also know that the black race went through a Holocaust because on that ship bring us across here, so pack up and them sitting there and throw off some away and still rape and murder and plunder all away. It's still a cause and we're still going through it because we don't recover.
Okay, no.
We don't recover this day.
Up to today, no.
We're not recovered.
Because we have not recovered, as Irish say. We suffer from certain psychological ailments. One of the ailments,
barriers, I would call them, psychological barriers.
One of the barriers that holding us is a thing called amnesia.
We tend to forget.
Not tend
conveniently.
To. Not tend to. What that Holocaust has done to us is left us in a state of amnesia. It's trauma, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, we volunteer is what brutality bring. So to remember ourselves now is even more difficult because of that
We
trauma.
are beaten out of ourselves.
Yeah, man. It's a Holocaust, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And our writers and our academics don't use the word Holocaust when it comes to African experience, you know. Them leave it specifically, you know, for the few Jews who them said
One word
in
them
Europe
use the African as slave.
is slaves.
Yeah.
No, Hitler is Europe's biggest enemy historically.
Mhm.
Them disdain Hitler. Them don't even want to see him picture and them symbols and so forth. But Hitler had a little party, man, you know, in terms of amount of people who him kill, you know.
Mhm.
When them talk about the Holocaust in Germany, them don't tell you how many black people go down in it, you know.
Mm-mm.
They will talk about the Jews. When Leopold went into Congo and killed 30 million Congolese, if what Hitler did was a Holocaust, what did I call that? There's no word to describe it.
No, you know, the European term is ethnic cleansing.
30 million? No,
Yeah.
man.
In the European terms.
No, but that was 6 million.
It's cleansing.
It don't reach 30.
You
Philip,
understand?
ethnic cleansing is like 1 million people, if so much.
Mhm.
But when we lose 30 million in a one place, and you go to South Africa where Cicero was
Cicero
killing another 20
yeah.
million, why we don't apply Holocaust to our experience?
No, man, black people are like sand on the seashore, so.
So it don't count.
It don't count.
I tell you. Well, listen to the Holocaust now that we have experienced. It allowed Iman Blak to dismiss what happened in Europe. That is it's fake news.
And them did that do that to the man, and there's like the rumors of war, you know, wars and rumors of wars. It fit for them situation.
So fake news reach way.
Mm-hmm.
That the Jews had the Holocaust and Africans experienced slavery.
Mm-hmm.
We had 30 million dying in one place and there are 200,000 Jews.
Mm-hmm.
No, you ever check out who are these Jews? How is it the Jews? Such a small population of people can have so much influence in the world. They influence American policy. They influence the policy in the so-called Middle East. They have nuclear weapons. Who are these Jews?
Same European them, no different.
But check them in the Bible history now. Them put the Jews in the Bible history and tell us that they are God-chosen people.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine that?
Yeah,
now?
what them call the Israelites. They are God chosen people.
All right.
But which God?
The same one God with them have.
Lord God.
Lord God.
Oh.
So African people must realize
there must be slave and servants to Lord God
Lord
people.
God children.
So that is where now which is a forefather, now them say become slave because him go see him father naked this, so them want claim to say him turn black, so him become slave. So the rest of them did white.
It's a myth.
It's a myth.
We know say never exists. They coming like Superman and Santa Claus.
As far as I'm concerned, it's Christmas time when them eat that piece
It's
of
a
pork.
figment. Because guess what happened now? Any African, that's what I said to you earlier, African history is not Bible history.
The thing is, you know, we need to break down that word they call history. It's really his story. It's not our story.
True.
Right?
And his story
couldn't benefit us.
Doesn't benefit either.
Right? Because his is saying it belongs to that person.
Mm-hmm.
It is showing that ownership. His.
Serious thing.
So it's his story.
Versus my story.
Versus my story or my reality.
Serious thing.
Right? So there is no way I can accept the European story, which is his story, his version
of his reality.
Of his reality. Or what he wants to say is my reality.
Serious thing.
You know, I cannot accept his story. I have to rewrite my story.
There's that now.
The black story.
And guess what happened now? It can be rewritten, you know, because our story is there. We have our writers who have recorded our stories long before we meet Europeans.
Long time, but European, every tendency if we try paint out our own and whitewash it and make it into theirs and
look
then
at the images of look at the images of the Egyptians. They've gone from black to brown to white. And you see Bob Marley moving from black to brown to white.
Mm-hmm.
Watch how the Europeans operate. 20 years from now, you're going to say Bob Marley was a fully white man. Because his father was white.
Yeah.
And they were to diminish his black mother.
His mother.
And show he was a white man.
Which the mitochondria inside him of his mother one. Black can't hide inside of him.
Inside of him. So The writers and the historians of Europe will always glorify themselves.
But at the same time, we the readers has to read what is not written.
Well, it means you have to think.
Exactly.
Because to read what is not written, you
have to think. And that's what I'm teaching in the English language.
Okay.
You know, they will ask a question like, what is not said in passage so and so?
Yes.
What does the writer mean in passage so and so?
But you realize, Irisha.
But if we use those same kind of standard they use within the English language, read what is not said, read what is said, interpret what is said, then I think we can unravel ourselves through this thing, you know.
Yes. But this is the thinking process now. Goes back again to how them teach you back ways. Them tell us we have 5 senses. Seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, and tasting. Right, we've covered them, 5 of them. But they don't mention thinking.
Thinking, which is critical, because you have to think before you taste.
No, you can taste, you know. You can taste and do all those things, you know. But you better think and analyze and compare and contrast.
But before you taste, you think first. Wonder how that tastes, and you take up the spoon.
Maybe you don't do that.
Thinking.
Maybe you don't do it, you know. But when you don't taste it, you have to exercise some thought upon the taste. When
you come on to put in something in one's mouth, you think about that man before you reach the man.
Some people just put things in their mouth because they say the mouth make for eat. You understand? So they might think about it. They might think about it at all. But what I'm saying, you know, part of the reverse in our psychology is that thinking is not put as a primary sense.
Right.
It is totally ignored. So you go through all the education system. Primary school, high school, university. And they don't tell you about the power of the brain.
But what they tell you to do is look, listen, and learn.
Yeah, man. Look, listen, and repeat.
Look, listen, and learn.
What are you learning?
What I noticed with how even the teachers are, what they call it, cultivated, is that when they are teaching you something, and they said something that click into your head, that have you thinking, and you try to stop the teacher to question that part, they tell you to wait.
Okay. Can you question anything in the church? When the pastor talking, them tell you must wait.
Yes, that is God. So I say wait. While you waiting now and that person saying so many other things, what you really want to ask, miss you and gone.
And them know too.
And them know, so them do it because them can't answer the question we are about to ask either, because them just go through a routine themselves and I deliver a thing to you what them can't explain. And them will tell us, so hold on, when you go down further, it will explain itself.
Yeah. So I think we have a problem when it comes to exercising brain power. Because a lot of us were introduced to literature or books. And you're trained to recite what's on the page. And some of us think that reciting is reading because you can't say the words. But it's the comprehension now.
The understanding.
And analysis. And finding cause and effect. And the thought processes. We leave it to white people.
Yeah, because
we said, is that them can do because we can't think?
We can't think because they lead us to think that kind of way. Because why you can't think? Religion again, you can't think. You just left it to God. God will work it out.
Well, I tell you, I want to tell you something now. I reach a stage part, I realize that God now work out nothing. Especially now for black people. I see when the white man get up and saying God we trust. I see Trump go on and swear on the Bible.
Some US dollar too.
Yeah, so that God is a different God than what the Africans used to deal with.
But ought to be.
You understand? But
how is it you going to move an animal? Let's use an animal. You're going to move an animal from St. Elizabeth, that is a dry place, to Portland, that is green and wet, without trying to change its diet. You will fall into problem.
All right.
Because that animal from St. Elizabeth used to brown dry grass. When him come to Portland, him now go find a brown dry grass. So him either go starve or eventually start to try to eat the green grass, so I go give him a running belly until him eventually
adapt to it. And then they might come and adapt to
the picnic them are go natural now because the parent already adapt.
Yes.
So remember, it's what you eat make you know.
Yeah.
So them already adapt, so it become them now. So them just naturally now go eat that. You You understand? So it's basically the same thing as a race. And what they have done to us is
Because
remove us and feed us something different.
And what have they feed us? Pure rubbish.
But had to be, it's like the politician.
Psychologically, everywhere.
It's like the politician and the doctor.
Yeah.
Because the politician will never fix the road. The politician will never address landlessness, joblessness, homelessness. Why? And because what? They won't have anything to tell you the next time to get the public purse. So if they get this job done, they don't have any purpose.
You hear that? You hear that? So all the excitement going on about orange and green, African people by now should be withdrawn from this process.
Long time.
Yeah, man, we should be withdrawing as a sign of protest. In the same way, we see all in North America now, where in the sports world get disturbed by a man kneeling down and protesting. We have to begin the protest, though, by withdrawing our support and letting those who claim that they are in control know and say, look, when they're going on with now work, you know. What is the thinking process, Irisha?
Yeah, so I said things like you go to the doctor same way and you go and your head hurt you and you say, what happened to you now? You come see me. Boy, my head hurt me. That's how when me touch it hurt, yes. And what him do? And give you one pill. That will stop the pain. But that pill now disrupts something else inside of you. You got to go back to the doctor.
Not only that, no.
Right.
You feel confident in the con man.
Exactly. So you got to go back to him now.
Yes.
So that's why I go always have patience, because the side effect of the medicine I give you something when I thoroughly check out.
Require more medicine.
Require more medicine because something else gone wrong. So the doctor will always be in business and the politician will always be in business. They will never get anything done.
And the preacher will always be in business.
But most because Lord God and Jesus is waiting.
Metamorphosis. Teach you what's right. Somehow it's kind of running out very rapidly. It's 5 minutes to midnight, and the WhatsApp is still speaking to us. Somebody they want to know, what about the woman who used a child as a pawn to get money, and when she doesn't get the money, she don't let the child talk to the man? What do I think of that? Irisha?
I just think that is also sad, and it's happened vice versa, because sometimes if the female not go sleep with the man, him not give her no money for the pitney neither. I just think it's sad for the child.
Yeah.
Really sad.
I think both of them missed the point as to why the child
exists.
You know, and I think sometimes There's a thing called posterity. I'm going to say, let me say this even before we sign off. The Christian Bible tells you about not trying to carry anything with you because you're going dead, leave it. In other words, when you're dead, you can't carry nothing with you.
So what happened to my pitney? My pitney not going to carry my own.
So, the whole idea behind that argument is that no worry about what you have. Because
don't
you
try
can't carry
to.
it with you.
No, don't try to accumulate anything because you can't carry gun away.
But you see, the main point is that when we want to talk about afterlife now, because we like to talk about life after death now, and we're concerned about the concept of saving the soul and ray. But I am saying today, I don't know, within black tradition, life after death is your children.
Most naturally.
When you dead, what remains after is your picnic them.
Them and
they
grand
become
and great
life
grand.
after death. So the whole idea now is to make sure that in life after death, the children have a chance.
A head start.
Yeah, a little giddy up, because guess what happened now? One thing we can be convinced of: money is a means to make everything run in the economy. So if you can leave money for the next generation, them get a better start.
Our land.
Our land, resources. So people who talk about say, boy, no matter what, you know, because when we're dead, we can't carry nothing. It's because we have ignored the concept of posterity. And we have lacked the knowledge that the next generation is you. The same way my grandfather and me. It's the same way
not everybody see that, because you see, because of the religion.
Is that no?
The religion make you know, say, you are your own individual, and when you're dead, you're dead.
You're dead.
And you can't dead to go heaven.
So
you must try to save your soul.
Yeah.
It not teach you until tell you say a man who set him heart upon riches can't see the kingdom of heaven. Whatever.
Yeah.
Which is why the pastor in the church I take riches in the name of Jesus.
And I build
And he want 10% out of my hard-earned money, and plus other Jews and other offerings and all these things in the name of God. And I always question, and if God's so rich that God give me life, God own every single thing me can say, from the rich to the reef. That's what God want money for.
All right.
God did make money.
All right.
So money is for your picnic.
Yes.
Land is for your picnic them. That's how you live in place your children, and make sure you give them sound knowledge of themselves. Make sure your children have identity, because one of our biggest problems as a race is lack of identity.
Yeah. And the identity is grounded in your history and your culture.
We don't talk about history in your story.
In our story.
In our story and our culture.
That is where the personality is grounded. So those first 3 years is time to be imposing upon your children our story and our culture. That by the time they reach 4, them have a foundation set, and they're confident in self, and they don't think that the world can go along because of prayer. You know, so the Europeans, well, not, you know, the Indians and the Chinese worship them family.
Even them dead.
Yeah.
Even up to the rat.
And that was our tradition before, you know. We used to worship our family. Family first. And in this Western Babylon structure now, family don't exist anymore.
Individual.
It's individual.
So if you keep them apart, you can control.
Well, all right. So you know what happens to that? If we want to get it together, we have to pull it together.
Pull it together.
It begins with the male and the female, who have a knowledge of themselves and will be able to put away the struggle of who's in control and who have the power and who's inferior and who's superior, and realize that it's a race we deal with.
And all of this is coming with what them so-called wealth and money, because most of the time, always socialize and educate. Even as a female, you may be more educated than the male, you get less pay doing the same job, and you're doing more. So you give him a leverage over the female and the children. So therefore, I feel like that's the way it is.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, say, the program I done Irish.
Well, you know, just give thanks for what go on now. You know, and
well, you know,
just know, say next time we will push on forward and continue the reasoning and the one-on-one to the text and the WhatsApp.
Yes.
Just continue to think about what we discussed tonight and check within yourself as black race and see how we can work together, but it start from the children.
Serious thing. And as the present becomes the past, we have to consider from whence will come the future.
Future is the children.
All right. Metamorphosis. Irisha in the studio. She give away sometime once a year visit. But that's a serious Rasta woman. That's the I am listening. And she is here to stay. See? Cassidy.
Said living in a Babylon ain't easy, no way. Confusion on my right hand.
Now, as the Metamorphosis comes out of this edition, my brethren, Osa Border, he has given his commitment to be in the Metamorphosis in the next program. Osa, of course, is a Vice Chancellor in the Rastafari University of Higher Life Learning. And Osa also has recently just been retired by the Ministry of Education as the Vice Principal of Woolmers. So I'm free now. My brethren finally get free. Come off of the treadmill and be upon a sort of independent, self-reliant movement. So Osa will be here to share enough things we want telling about and keep the investigation going on into self and to identify the powers of our own blackness. So make sure you're here for the next edition. Yes. Also want to remind my listeners that you can visit my website www.imanblak.com, www.imanblak.com. There's also a site for podcasts where you can download some previous programs, and you can visit the bookshop and support the writer, support the author, because it's Donza run the place. Yes, Franklins and Benjamins. All right, so I hate that, Give thanks, Irisha. Always
It's
a
a
pleasure.
blessing.
Always. Metamorphosis, Iman Blak, moving out.
When the sun is burning, oh, the rain is falling, then comes another man stealing all of my pumpkins, my yams and my plantains, and everything that I am growing. Ooh. Guiding I eternally. Guide I. It's the voice that sets me free. Guide I.